on.
Yes.
Wait, who's supposed to be hosting again?
Oh yeah, do you want to host Sky?
Wait, okay. Hold on. Completely on plan, by the way.
Oh, no,
Welcome to the 2.5 Crows podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about all sorts of different topics, such as Elsword,
Yes.
maybe even other games, maybe even real life.
Yeah. I'm
your host today, Skyrus, and I am joined today by Meteor Falcon and Mummy Crow.
Yay! Hello. Apologies in advance if I sound like I'm distant, because Sky and I are using the same mic, and it's just like I'm sitting away.
Yeah, I tried to come over. My shoes got wet, so I had to,
No.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I couldn't keep going.
We need like an American 2.5 Crow stream when. Well, I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
Oh, that's right. We need. You guys are free to ask questions. We will answer them. You can ask them either on the Twitch chat or in the Warren Meadows Discord. We also have a Twitter set up and what's it called? Ask FM set up.
Yeah.
Details of that are all on the stream. We also these podcasts will also be recorded and posted the next day.
Yep.
So we highly encourage you to join us live because you can ask us questions and
Yes. Yes. Fun.
okay, housekeeping's out of the way now. So
Wait. Oh wait. You wanna? Oh wait. Let me pull up the questions. Actually, that's a good idea.
Okay. Do you want to pull them up? Okay.
There's a lot though.
We asked a lot to each other. I don't think did fans ask any questions this week?
Not that I know of, no. Because like it's fresh. It's just some questions in our questions channel that are like
unanswered.
Wait, let me just find one. You can find one as well, Sky. Whichever one you want to ask, you can.
Okay.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
Does the stream sound okay, by the way, guys? Just kind of wondering as well. Because that one time.
Okay, yeah. If stream doesn't sound good, it sounds weird. Just like tell us and tell Meteor and he'll fix it.
Yeah.
Because like we can't fix it.
Because last time the girls were really quiet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because Sky and I literally I woke up like 45 minutes ago, and I'm like, we're like unorganized as fuck right now. Okay.
So you guys want to talk about Elsword or talk about something else?
I'm down to talk about Genshin, honestly.
I'm down to whatever.
Genshin Impact podcast now?
Your Genshin Impact podcast.
Is that how it is?
Yeah, this whole week, I've actually just been playing Genshin. I've neglected Elsword so much, but I'm just like, I kind of just finished because I finished a Leah story quest, right? And I'm just like, maybe I should spend the next 7 days grinding Elsword because I have this 7-day EXP medal, and I'm like, maybe I should use it.
I think you should, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, does this stack with the secret dungeon medal?
No, it shouldn't.
It takes the strongest.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it takes the strongest.
Okay. Yeah, I need to grind and start burning my stamina after I open it then.
I think a question that since I guess like we've all been pretty active on Genshin, I guess. Have you guys been more active? Well, I guess I Crows answered the question, but maybe have you been more active on Genshin than on Elsword?
Yeah.
Or the other way around, or is it about the same?
Yeah. So for me, I'm definitely been more active on Genshin, and I think it's because like one, it's a new game, and two, there's not really much that I'm progressing with in Elsword right now. Like the thing I'm consistently doing in Elsword is just Rigmore dailies, just because I still need reforges and things like that. But aside from reforges, there's really not anything I want at the moment. So yeah, compared to Genshin, where like before Zhongli came out, the only thing I wanted to do was gain Primo Gems to get Zhongli. And now that I have him, now I feel like I'm actually playing the game for once. So that's why I've been playing it a lot.
I was actually worried that after I got Zhongli, I stopped playing the game, because that's what I did with Honkai Impact, where after I got my waifu, I stopped playing the game. Because But I feel like the difference between Honkai and Genshin is just like Honkai is just like I feel a bit limited with how I can grind, or maybe it's just I don't know how to grind, or it's maybe just because I don't really enjoy the gameplay. Whereas Genshin, I actually enjoy the game more now that I have Zonly, and now I actually enjoy grinding materials for Zonly. It's pretty fun, and because of that, I'm playing like Genshin a lot more than Elsword right now. But
This
I feel like once I get up to media stage, I might get a bit bored. But I
let's
hope
say
not.
Yeah, I think
go ahead.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, because essentially, because once you get to because with Genshin, like once you get to end game, it's very how to say it. It's pretty easy to stay on top of the game because so much because at that point so much of your progress is gated by resin.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you just
Mhm.
grab some daily material. Like maybe you do like a daily like mining or like artifact grinding,
Mhm.
grinding resin, and then that's kind of it. Like it's very easy to spend. Like your Genshin dailies might take like 30 minutes max.
Mm.
Whereas like what Elsword like there's so many things you could do in Elsword,
Yeah.
especially as end game players with multiple well, like not really Needle's case, but like if you have multiple alts, that really only expands the amount of things you could do with set alts.
Yeah.
Um,
That too. That
yeah,
too.
yeah. So I think early on in Genshin, like it's very easy to spend hours and hours on end just exploring. I guess in the end, it also depends on why you play Genshin and how much you value the exploration. But for me, like I was most concerned with getting that to the end game as quickly as possible. So I'm here like grinding XP and I guess like essential materials and all that.
Mhm.
But
I think at the same time, Genshin is still like it's like a pretty new game, like because so
Mhm.
there's not much content. I feel like what I enjoyed most Genshin, like that Liu story quest was like really fun to play through. But I think like since it's still like a new game, it's like they're still updating the story. There's not much story to go through, and there's not much content to go through. I think as a result as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, it's still pretty new. I just hope in the future like there'll be even more, like there'll be more cool like story quests and stuff as well, like the Liu story quest. I feel like Liu is gonna be my favorite, and it's gonna be really hard to top it. But I'll see. Mihoyo might. Mihoyo is pretty good at story writing. Not gonna lie, even the Honkai Impact story writing was really good in Honkai Impact game. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like comparing Honkai to Genshin, I think one thing that definitely helps is like you have friends that also play Genshin. So,
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
well then I don't mean,
Well,
were a lot of your friends playing Honkai?
not really. It was really just my moderator Saba, and then just people in my Twitch chat that I'd meet in game, and then just playing with them, and
Yeah.
they'd carry me through the. I think it was called. I think they called it. Was it a raid? Or something like that. They carried me through these dungeons, and I was like, okay. But I feel like the Honkai gameplay was a bit more. It's a bit more like basic and linear compared to Genshin. It felt like, yeah. It was easier because at least I could actually play Honkai on the phone. Genshin playing on the phone just feels way too weird. I don't like it.
You tried it?
yeah,
I haven't. I can't try it.
yeah. I think especially if you make use of like DPS bow users, it's kind of like I don't know. I found aiming to be noticeably more difficult on phone
Yeah,
than on computer. I mean, like I can get by, but if you ask me to play Abyss or something, like Spiral Abyss on phone, I probably would perform considerably better on the computer than
yeah,
on
definitely.
phone.
I think it's also because Genshin has that computer option, and
Yeah.
I prefer computer games way over like playing on the phone. It's just that every time I try to play a game on the phone, it's just I give up. I give up eventually anyway. I give up on the
Yeah.
game.
Games on the phone for me are just more like if I'm just doing something else, and then I can just
Yeah,
like do it for a little
something
bit.
casual.
Like what is
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah,
I'll play Duel Links on it because that's like a card game. You just kind of swipe up at the cards and stuff like that. Like
yeah.
there's not really much you have to like actually like putting enough inputs in, then it just gets like too cumbersome. At least for me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah. Actually, I actually wanted to. I was wondering, are you guys enjoying Genshin more or Elsword more?
Ooh.
Like, do you guys enjoy playing Elsword more or Genshin? I asked Meteor this question I
At the
think last
moment,
night.
like what do you like? In no, keep going, As I'm thinking, that's actually.
Yeah, so pretty much I asked Meteor yesterday. I was like, are you enjoying Genshin more and Elsword more? Meteor yesterday said he's enjoying. He prefers playing Elsword more. But what about you, Sky?
Oh, I think it's a bit of a tough question for me because I started Genshin for. I don't actually know. I feel like there's a very strong like emotional factor into why I started Genshin, but as for what it actually but I haven't been able to figure out what it actually is because I've been going through some issues at home as of late, and that was also the same time I started playing Genshin. So yeah, so again, like I don't know whether it's because of really wanting a change. Like I don't know whether I wanted a change of pace or whether I found the game to be legitimately interesting or
maybe the game was just more accessible because like it's on the phone and stuff.
Yeah.
Well.
Yes, at the moment, so because I don't really know why I started Genshin, I don't really know whether I'm enjoying it.
Oh, okay.
More than Elsword, if that makes any sense. Like for example, like I can confidently tell you like why I enjoy Elsword, and that has a lot of personal reasons alongside it. But if you ask me about Genshin, I guess like my motivations for playing it at the moment is like I know it's personal, but I don't know exactly why I'm doing it, if that makes any sense. So then I wouldn't be able to confidently say I enjoy Genshin more or I enjoy Elsword more. But at the moment, I just kind of see them as two different games that have different. Like I enjoy them for different reasons, and because of that, it's difficult for me to compare them at least.
Okay, cool.
What about Meteor?
I mean, so like when it comes to like gameplay and stuff like that, like it's fine, it's enjoyable. But what is it? Especially today, because today I actually did a raid in Elsword, and just like I don't know, the thing in Genshin is that you just don't have that many like skills and things to use compared to like Elsword. It's just like there's just more skills to use, and then like the what is it? The actual game, what is it? The content you're running is more enjoyable in my opinion, because I'm sure Genshin's gonna get to that point where there's like a big group boss where you can like fight, because like it's Elsword raiding. It's like one of my most favorite things to do in Elsword at the moment. So like I don't know, like it because yeah, I think that's what my main thing is. Like Genshin gameplay is like fine and it's fun and I enjoy it, but I enjoy Elsword a lot more just because I feel like there's just more skills and things you can need to focus on compared to Genshin, where it's just like go to a character, use a skill, okay, do your combos. You can cancel your combos if you want, but you can just kind of keep clicking if you want. Just keep clicking, and then yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I guess. Well, actually, cause I asked Sky about this, and yeah, Sky was mentioned this before. How like Sky mentioned you sort of like you needed more brain power to grind in Genshin than on Elsword, because Elsword we can kind of just autopilot and just go through everything.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that's because Genshin is a new game and we've
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Elsword is like we've been playing this for years.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I personally am getting to that point in Genshin where like a lot of things are becoming brainless for me.
I haven't gotten to that point yet. I still need to like focus if I'm trying to grind on Genshin, because I feel like it just depends as well, because I feel like my zombie feels pretty weak, and sometimes I fight really strong enemies, and then I'm like I kind of actually need to pay attention, like buckle down, like oh I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this. But I feel like the same could apply to Elsword.
Yeah.
Like sometimes if the boss, like I need to be paying attention. For example, if I'm versing Varian, and like I need to be paying attention when he's gonna attack, and I need to be dodging and stuff. But even that, I still die so much. But
I think a big factor for me as well is that I'm not particularly, how do I say it? Not that I'm not comfortable with the controls yet, but more like I haven't gotten the hang on how to play optimally yet. Whereas in Elsword, like I know I know how to do that. So it's kind of like when you take a step down and like begin to autopilot. Like I think it's especially with grinding, like when you're doing the same like in Elsword, you do the same thing over and over again. Like okay, I run to the spot, I press X skill, okay, I run to the end now. Whereas like I've gotten that one nailed down, and I guess like because I've just done it hundreds of times, whereas in Genshin I haven't really. So I guess again going back to how I'm not 100% comfortable with playing in the most optimal manner, and I guess it's
that makes
especially
sense.
because so it's kind of like I want to. So sometimes maybe I'm just pushing my brain a bit because I'm trying to learn how to do that, and then maybe once I achieve that, then I'll like take a step down when I do dailies and all that. That could be it.
Was
do you have anything else to add?
Well, I was gonna say something, but I freaking forgot.
Okay.
about Genshin. Ah.
In that oh, it looks like we have some questions on Twitch. Do you,
Yeah,
should we
yeah,
do
you
that?
can, you can.
Okay, so
If I remember later, I'll ask my questions.
okay, so first question from
Puggo, I think.
Pogo. Yes.
Uh,
Does Arrow run on air with just her leg strength?
I think
see
it's
this in Magic.
I think it's some like if you guys ever watched Naruto, I think it's some like chakra stuff, right? Or it's essentially supposed to be that. Like you know how they walk on water by doing something like that. I think it's supposed to be the
Yeah.
same concept, right?
Something like that.
Like
What
chakra.
about Rena? Wait, in that case, what about Rena?
Rana.
Oh, you mean the double jump?
Yeah, double,
double
jump. 'Cause Rena
jump.
double. Yeah, she's double jumps on air.
Maybe they use that magic and then create like an invisible platform temporarily with the wind spirits and then kaboom, double jump.
Oh, it could be it could be the wind, manipulating the wind. Maybe.
Yeah, because I was thinking Rena uses wind spirits to help her.
I could see that because she has nature's force as a system. So.
Yeah, yeah. Ah. Yeah, let's just go with the chakra question. Yeah, let's just go.
I think
with
it's supposed to be
chakra.
I think it's supposed to be chakra stuff.
She uses chakra. She harnesses the power of chakra to walk in the air.
Yeah, I could see it.
Okay, next question. The question for the crows: is it worth to make a base Noah till all 3 classes come out, or just going with the first class and then class change?
Wait, question for the crows. Does that mean Meteor's excluded?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I'm no, I'm half included. It's 2.5 crows.
He's not a crow.
I'm a half
Meteor's
included.
the imposter. No, I'm joking. It's fine.
Okay, so do you want to answer first?
Oh, actually, I was gonna say, like, when it comes to new characters, generally what happens is Koji gives you a job change ticket chance, like when the next class comes
That's what
out.
I was gonna say
So
too.
so what happens is, like, you can make if the first class comes out, you make the first class, and then basically Koji, and then the next class comes out, Koji will give you a job change ticket, and you can job change to the other class. and
Wait,
try it
really?
out. Yeah.
Are you sure?
They did that for Rose, I remember clearly, and they also did that for.
They do it for Labby?
I'm not sure.
Because I distinctively remember
Yeah, I don't think they.
to
Yeah, I don't think they did
Michelle.
it for Labby.
Yeah, I don't think,
okay.
but I just remember they did it for Rose. I'm not sure if they'll do it for Noah though.
Okay.
But if they don't do it, I'd wait for all 3
But I say
classes.
because like one thing I was gonna say actually is I wasn't gonna say change ticket, but I was gonna say whenever a new character comes out, there's always an event that exists to help that character, and most times they'll give you free costumes that are permanent, pretty much a bunch of free stuff that's permanent. I think it's still worth it to, whether you can get them all as base, maybe you want to do that, or you can just advance with that character and just kind of keep the free stuff and maybe don't go in too hard if you're like think you might be on the edge for the other classes. But I'd say still utilize those events that come out when because whenever they release a new path, there's some great events, and it would be a shame to not utilize them in my opinion.
Yeah. I was gonna say. What was I gonna say? Dude, I'm forgetting everything. I'm still waking up. My brain's not retaining any memory.
I have something else I want to say if you can't think of it.
I don't know. I was gonna say but then the question is, like, should we just wait till second job, like just choose a path based on the second job, or should you wait till like third job comes out and then choose a path?
How it's worked so far is they release the entirety of First Pass.
Oh.
First, yeah. So like with Libby, they released the entirety of like Sparky Child, Wrong Palm, Tony Winner first, and then they released the entirety of the second path and then the entirety of third.
Yep. Compared to what they did before.
Yeah, I think it depends a lot on when you want to do your leveling and how much, and either how much you want to do the leveling or.
And again, like I said, how desirable the events are when the events come out.
Yeah, because obviously the most economical choice is to wait for all 3 and then pick one.
Yeah.
But that means waiting, and I don't know how okay you are waiting. Personally, like I guess I was encountered with this question when I was leveling a Labby because I wanted to like learn how Labby played, but okay, this is kind of embarrassing to say, but I'm terrified of children, and this like as in small children, like think 5-year-old kids or younger.
They can be pretty terrifying. I said they can be pretty terrifying.
Yeah, and then but the problem is like this fear also extends to some 2D characters, not all, some. and the problem is base labby counted.
Huh.
So at least to me when I leveled in Tony when I don't particularly know. I mean now I think I'm getting over that fear a little bit better. Or like or I don't know. I don't know. Maybe with labbies it's not affecting me as much, but I don't know how I did it back in the day. But I leveled my labby all the way up to a Tony winner from scratch. And then because I wanted to learn how to play Tony winner because like the class seemed interesting with the whole like command skill input thing. And then I didn't. And then I leveled it, and then I learned that I didn't really like it. And then so I was like, okay, I'll just leave this. I'll just leave it there. And then Nisha came out, and then I was thinking like, and then so obviously my fear of children at this point kicks in again, and then I go, I want Nisha. I don't want to be Labby. And then I'm sorry. This girl is Labby. This is all my like own personal fear.
Nisha looks more mature.
Yeah. So
I actually really do like Nisha a lot.
Yeah, and then so I have two options. I can either level a new Labby, which is obviously the most economical choice, or I cash and I drop change to Nisha. And then like I'd rather pay. I wasn't willing to go through that living process again, so I just drop change to Nisha.
Actually, wait. I'm out of curiosity, Scott. Like, what is it about Labi that you don't like? Is it her childish personality, or is it just like?
I think in terms of, okay. So the Labbies I'm particularly scared of are
Radiant Soul?
An entirety of base Labby and like almost the entirety of the second pass, but
okay.
especially Radiant Soul.
Okay. Well, is it because of personality or is it just like
it's actually personality is usually an add-on, but it's usually appearance and voice.
Oh, you know what's funny though? Lavi's taller than Aisha.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she is. She's taller than you think she is.
It's like what the heck? But she acts so like childish and immature all the time.
Yeah. And I think for me, it's just particular kinds of smiles that I'm not that really like affect me that like really really affect me mentally is probably an overstatement, but more like I look at that smile and I get like discomfort. Yeah, it's especially with base Labby and Radiant Soul. Actually, Master Pass Radiant Soul is not too bad, but it's especially like Radiant Soul. I'm sorry.
Yeah, speaking of, I was like, I don't like the lolly trope as well in
I'm
anime,
not a fan of it either.
Yeah, I really don't like the little girl trope. But then Genshin Impact, like Claire and like they actually make me like those little girls. They're so Claire's a good kid.
Claire?
Like she.
Who's that?
Klee.
Oh, Klee. Yeah.
It's pronounced Claire.
Yeah, Claire.
Oh, really?
In German. Yeah, because in German, if you put two vowel sounds together, it only elongates a sound. It doesn't.
Okay.
Because if you put two e's together, it changes the sound completely. Whereas in German, it just elongates it, so you just get Claire.
Yeah. So I was like, Claire is cute after I played that side story, kind of like a side story quest, and then Titi was also so cute, like Coco Go, and then it's just like the way she says 不知道 with her hands out like that. She does that pose. I'm like, oh wait, she's so cute. So right now, so far, all the little girls I've met in Genshin, I actually kind of like them because they're so like they're good kids. They're good kids.
Actually, who are the little girls? It's Diona.
It's just
Claire,
it's just that three.
Gigi, and
That's it.
Paimon.
Paimon is different.
Yeah, Paimon is like the one girl like get out of here, Paimon. Get off.
Paimon's fine. Yeah. What is it? Yeah, I would say like mentally Paimon's probably like around the same as the main character. A little bit younger maybe.
Probably. Maybe. Paimon's just very. She acts like a kid a lot. Paimon.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, she's like naive. And...
Yeah. Wait. Oh yeah, I think. Wait, Media, what were you gonna say earlier about Noah again? Like the main question about the 3 classes coming out and stuff.
I thought I said it already. Is you need to just determine for yourself whether you want to play him by like if you don't make the character, whatever you were gonna get during that event, just remember that you're not gonna get these items, and you would potentially want them if you wanted to care about that character a lot. Oh, also like, what is it? You could also wait for people to play him and just like explain how he plays or like how his class is like that.
I'd rather just try him myself and just figure it out, and then ask people like, oh, how do you play, and then compare.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some people like to what is it? That some people like to super commit to characters, so they want to know how they
Okay.
are first before they commit.
Yeah. Yeah, I already know a lot of people who have already like started like already grinding in preparation for Noah, and they're all
Mhm.
just like farming spare rigmarole gears and just getting Van weapons and stuff for Noah, and I'm just like, wow, they're really taking it to the next level.
Yep.
Personally, I'm like pretty meh about Noah. I'll get him just for the sake of trying him out, but if I don't like him or if he doesn't give any good L book effects, I don't mind deleting him.
Yeah, I
Plus
think I have a similar stance here. Like as a character, I mean, I'll admit that I'll admit that the early trailer I've seen was the very first video.
yeah.
But in terms of the story, like I think I'd be interested in his lore in terms, but only for the sake of how it contributes to the bigger picture.
Mhm.
Like especially about his connections with Everlon.
Let's say we can talk
yeah.
about that next. Actually, I did want to talk about that at some point.
Mhm.
What's that? It's God, the God of transitions. Let's go. That's a that was a really good transition because I did want to talk about that at some point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
But
yeah,
yeah.
okay. So have you guys seen all the I think all the videos are out. All the
Yeah.
Noah backstory videos. Have you guys seen them all?
Nope.
I have.
Yes. Except the most recent one, I kind of just watched as a bystander on Media's Twitch. So I don't know the audio. So I kind of did roughly watch the last one. But yeah, I did pretty much watch them all.
But do you mind spoilers, Sky, or what?
No, I don't mind spoilers. Spoilers are very welcome.
Okay, so essentially, what I can gather, at least, what I can gather from people telling me when I made my own video about this, essentially Noah is Ibelon's younger brother. It seems like they grew up.
Oh.
Yeah, it seems like they grew up together. Noah very much looked up to him and loves him, all that stuff like that. Then it turns out at some day, at some point or whatever, a intruder breaks into wherever they live. I don't know if it's like a school or it's like their house or whatever. But an intruder breaks in and kills Ibelon. Ibelon looks at Noah and probably tells him something or something like that. And then when Noah looks at who's Ibelon's killer is, turns out it's Ibelon. What? What is going on? So it turns out his killer is actually Ibelon. And then what I assume is years later, because he looks a lot older, Noah is back for vengeance against Ibelon's killer. He finally catches up to Ibelon's killer, subdues them, I assume. And it turns out, I'm not sure, this is the vague part because they haven't explained it yet, but it turns out that Ibelon's killer was actually some woman in a disguise, disguising herself as Ibelon.
So also, which kind of implies that the Ibelon, maybe that that the El was imposter.
Yeah. That's where
Just,
that's what I'm leaning towards now.
Like, what I don't get is who could be strong enough to kill an L Master, let alone like assassinate an L Master.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I think I'm not sure what that thing is, but in the last video that just came out recently, the main thing that happened is that it looks like there's a fireworks festival in El Reno, there's some type of celebration, and I think it might be, it's either when the L explodes or there just is an explosion in that area. When that explosion happens, the Haner cult is looking for stuff. One of the things they find is a little crystal. My thought process is that the L Masters, this right now is just me theorizing. They might have an Achilles heel, or Ibelon himself might have a specific weakness. That when used on him, he's essentially a human, or the powers are negated, whatever have you. You know, some type of Achilles heel. And I think, again, theorizing, I think that either came from Noah or Noah has those capabilities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
That's just mostly me theorizing, though.
Yeah, this whole like the Noah trailers like didn't reveal much, and it just like only left me with speculations and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just very confused. Like, so does that mean the L Masters? So how long has this Everlon imposter been around? Was pretty much so like, was he around for like the whole duration before the L explosion, or like etc.
I think
I'm just like,
I think what's at least maybe implied, maybe not, they haven't stated yet, is that the imposter is the one that blew up the L, and everybody just thought it was Ibelon, and just like, okay, Ibelon betrayed us with the Haner cult, but it turns out that was never Ibelon even to begin with. So
Yeah.
in terms of how long, at least before the L exploded or the day that the L exploded. Like,
Because at the same time, I wanted to talk about Denev's reaction to Eberlon joining the Henna cult, because like I know in the story, like Denev kind of just drops a bomb on us without warning. He's just like oh yeah, the Moon El Master betrayed us and joined the Henna cult. But then the way that Denev said it was like so like nonchalant, and it was just like, really, that's it. And then just like, so I feel like there's so much like just great, just like great areas, just no information about Evelyn's like betrayal and stuff.
I feel like they might have said it in a very hush hush way because A, the Elsword party wasn't supposed to know about it, and B, it might have happened like a while ago because they kind of got together in this like little like secret meeting where they was to make sure that the Elsword party wouldn't hear of it, and they're like, hey, we're not going to talk about it, and then they're like, oh, you mean the part where everyone wasn't actually part of the Henna Order, and they're like, yeah. So it kind of sounds like to me that.
Do you remember that cutscene that is?
For quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when that cutscene happens? Real quick.
Oh, that happens at the very end of the Rigmarole story quests.
Okay.
I think.
I need to go back and reread them sometime. I just remember it's just like they dropped the bomb. I'm like, what? What should we go? Okay, actually, here's another question. Do you guys think Evelyn's still alive, or do you think he's actually dead?
Oh.
That's a good question, actually.
I hope he's still alive, honestly. Cause I feel like it wouldn't make sense if he was suddenly killed off like that. It's just like he's an L master. How does he get killed off so easily? What the heck?
He might have gotten killed before he got the position, but I don't know.
I guess.
We
that too.
We don't know
yeah. Again, we don't know what. Yeah, exactly. We don't know when in the timeline that murder occurred. It could have happened. Like he could have been becoming an L master, and then that happened. So this other person becomes an instead, because in those trailers as well, that whoever that imposter is has L master powers. Like Noah took the blunt of a really good attack that they did, so that could be a thing as well.
What do you think, Mia? Do you think Evelyn's still alive or dead?
I think they could easily bring him back because I think he is a character that everybody likes, and to see this character that everybody likes is just like, oh, they are alive again. I think there's a high probability that he's going to be brought back. I actually don't think he should though, because I just think he would make for a better story, at least for Noah. I don't know. That's pretty much it. I think they will bring him back, but if they don't, I think they'll make a better story for Noah. But if they do, it's fine.
I kind of want, because like I kind of hope that Evelyn's not actually dead and that he'd come back. Because I feel like they killed him. They didn't even give him a chance for like a character to be developed before they killed him off.
I mean, let's be real. The characters for El Master in general haven't really been developed that much. So.
I feel like, if anything.
Well, aside from like Solus and Rosso.
Aside from Solus,
Rosso
honestly,
too.
Solus might have even gotten more developed than Raven in his master quest thingamajig of the story.
Yeah.
Why do they write Raven off so much? I hate you, Kate. No, it's fine. But other than at least the other L Masters, they got proper screen time, right? Evelyn didn't even get any screen time in the story, so that's why.
Yeah, like, well, that's because before we saw him as like the traitor, kind of. So it makes sense. It's like only now we know he was a good guy, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually thought before, when he seemed pretty shady, I actually liked that interpretation of Eberlon. Because I was like, ooh.
Like, he's kind of sus.
Yeah, he's sus. Like that makes it
I mean,
more
even then, we didn't get much. All we got was just...
makes it more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really get anything, though. It was just kind of... He's just suspicious. He probably blew up the L. That's about it.
But in I like that concept, like, to a character more. Just, like, the suspicious, like... Just that...
Soft vibes.
Yeah, soft vibes, right? And it's just like, I guess I was just like, more interested in that. But after they were like, oh, he's not actually a bad guy, I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I don't really care as much anymore, but I still kind of want him to like, just like give him a chance for character development. Like, just bring him into the story and let us see him. I want to believe that he's not dead, but who knows? Yeah.
Who knows? Like the real Evelyn could be the nicest ass guy in the world.
Yeah, he seems like he
does seem very nice. Yeah. He read You would read Noah bedtime stories.
Because he did seem very caring towards his younger brother, so.
Yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure I'm surprised that it was his younger brother, even though I really shouldn't, because they look so alike.
Yeah.
I thought he was like an apprentice or something. No.
Well, there's a scene where he reads him a story, like, and they're both what is it on the same bed. That'd be weird if that was an apprentice.
True.
Yeah.
Dude, I wonder what happened to, like, yeah. I wonder, like, you know, this game never talks about the parents ever, like Elsword search party and the parents and stuff. I'm just like,
Elsword and Alessis have a thought. I think that person is in Grand Chase.
Yeah. Elsword's father's just gone missing, and then they're just like, who cares? Oh, Chang has a father figure at least. Chang has a father figure.
Yeah. Like, dad is actually like.
Yeah, he's
an important character.
Yeah. Why are all these dads going missing? What the heck?
I mean, that's just that's just a like anime. That's just an anime trope.
Yeah. But what about their mothers? Like, I know Raven, he's orphaned, so.
Yeah, we don't know who his parents are.
Raven's parents, are they both dead then? Or
they just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know. Like, you could still be orphaned and then just have the baby dumped somewhere.
Yeah.
And the parents still alive.
Yeah. I just know that he was adopted into the Cronwell family, and nobles were very jealous because he's meant to be like a nobody, but he's got this big deal.
Good.
He's got this big deal family name, even though he's an orphan.
Oh, he was an orphan from, like, I don't know, like he could be from the lowest common.
Yeah. And then all the other nobles are just jealous. Just like, this guy, he doesn't deserve to be a noble. Get him out of here. And then I guess that's one of the reasons why Owen betrayed Raven as well. Oh no, Owen. I thought it was out of jealousy at first, the whole Owen betraying Raven as well. But I think Owen's just that selfish, and he just wants power, and he just used Raven and Ceres as a stepping stone.
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to tell with him. Because there's not really that much there. It's just that he betrayed Raven for whatever reason. I'm not sure.
I think from what I gather from the Raven backstory, I think he just wanted power, and he really only saw Raven and Ceres as stepping stone to that power.
Yeah, and then because he was close to them, they just happened to be the most convenient.
Yeah. Cause which is like, dang, Owen is heartless as shit. Dude, I really hope, like, in the Elsword story they bring Owen back sometime, because like they kind of just like, he disappeared, and like, what happens to Owen?
I mean, that happens in everybody's backstory.
Yeah, like, what happened to him? Like, I thought he'd be a big deal considering how he's a noble in Velda Kingdom.
Yeah, either that or because some time would have passed in between Raven getting betrayed and them coming all the way back to Velda.
Definitely.
So I wonder whether, like, okay, what would have been really funny was when he actually got the power and then he just failed to maintain it, and then he just fell all the way down.
Yeah, like, what if you find Owen in the demon realm? It's just like, what?
Oh, he joined them.
How'd you end up? He was so thirsty for power that he freaking became a demon. Like, what? How did that happen? But cause like the other thing I don't like is just like, when Raven got to Velda, there was literally no mention about Raven's past. And then just like no, like, Raven didn't even feel nostalgic at all, like any of the quests. He was just there, and he just carried on with the duty. There's one thing I dislike about the Elsword story writing. It's just like, it's so surface level and shallow. It never dives deep into like the character's backstory, like in the main story.
I think that's a consequence of them focusing on the bigger picture, because because you have the main story, right, and then you have to juggle a billion characters and making sure that they all at least get some screen time.
Yeah.
But you never, because they have this kind of focus, like, you never really get to see any of the characters in depth. Because usually a good way to do that is to put them in solo, or put them with, like, I don't know, like maybe one or two other characters. But like, Alpha just doesn't do that. Whereas in a lot of other games that are more okay, let's compare this to Genshin, right? Even every single character has well, not every single character, but like a good handful of characters have their own. Actually, not even a handful, but like some characters have their own story quest, basically. So currently they're only the 5 stars, I think. It's only the 5 stars that have them.
I'm trying to remember. I think so.
It's only child.
Yeah, it's like 5 stars.
It's only 5 stars. It's only 5 stars at the moment.
Yeah.
But and so I guess you can't really say that all the characters have had equal representation in that case, but like, you know, they've gotten their own screen time. So even like Claire doesn't even show up in the main Claire doesn't even show up in the main story at all. Does she get
She
mentioned?
has a
She gets
She
mentioned in
has
a
a
side quest about Razor.
there was a side quest that got added, I think, when Claire was added to the game. I think.
Oh, okay.
So,
Then yeah, she would have been mentioned there.
But it's just like the thing is like even then I felt like those characters, their backstories were explored so in depth and so like interactively. Like there's even mangas and stuff for their backstory, and also that, in addition to the fact that Genshin's a new game. In Genshin's a new game, they have so many characters. Even the NPCs have a developed backstory in a way if you talk to them, right? In the towns and stuff. So Genshin's still a new game, and I feel like they're like the way they address like backstory and stuff. It's like so much more in depth compared to Elsword. Elsword doesn't feel like a story-driven game. It also just feels more like a gameplay.
But I would say you can also take that in a bad way. Real quick, is it could be them convincing you to pull for this character. Like, to be honest.
Yeah,
like,
I guess.
Like, Elsword doesn't need to do that because all the characters you can just play them whenever you want.
Yeah. But at the same time, just like it would be nice to go like delve more into the in depth into the Elsa backstory and just have that that extra layer of complexity in the Elsa story. Because I do know I do really watching some other film where like there was so many. Oh yeah. For example, I was gonna say like I know how like Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame is not perfect, right? But I see a lot of people complimenting the fact that even though there's so many major characters, like the Russo brothers were still able to make a script where no one felt left out and everyone was still like kind of
you make them do one important thing.
Yeah.
That's whereas,
really. Also, but it's just like Elsword is just like you frequently get a case where like the main characters sometimes feel like side characters, like especially in Raven's case, where like his Master Road storyline quest felt like he's just like just been like they wrote him so badly. They just didn't care about Raven. It felt like that. So like I feel like in that aspect, it's like it annoys me because it's just like they can't have a balance between all the main characters in Elsa. Right now, it just feels like Elsa's the main character, Elsa's the main character.
No, wait, I would say Elsa's the side character.
Yeah, but the story does focus on Elsa a lot. Like a lot of the plot line, like for example, the El explosion just focuses around.
I think they stopped.
Yeah.
I think they stopped focusing on Elboy after what's the first dungeon in Elria Node?
Hall of El.
Yeah, I thought they stopped focusing on Elboy after Hall of El. It's been the Lou story for like a while.
Oh, true. It's been but even then, it's just like all the other characters have gotten such big roles. Well, that's what I can name. It's just like Elsa's got a big role, Lou's got a big role. Eve kind of in the whole like activated device, and she's a bit of a big deal as well.
Not really. She does like I don't think it does that much. But I think I think the biggest thing is Elsword's story only recently picked up pace now, because before it was very, very no one cared about it. Like it's only now that they're actually getting serious about it.
It was mostly Elysion, I think especially Elysion Part 2. Yeah, that was kind of when the main story actually began.
And I'm just saying, Elysion's story started years ago.
Yeah,
so it's not really that they recently started delving in depth into the story. It's just like they've been doing this for a couple of years now, but even then, a lot of the Elsa characters gets written off. Like just
that's kind of what I'm saying is that like the point that they actually started caring about the story is like the point where they've already had all these other characters, so it's like okay, now they're playing catch up a little bit, as because they have to progress the story, and then now it's like okay, now we got to include all these characters in a different way, in like different interesting ways. And so far I think they've done a good job with Lou. They've done a fine job with Ain. Elboy and Alessis had some decent stuff. I mean, it could just be a matter of time, to be honest. It could just be a matter of time.
Yeah, I hope so. Because at the same time, because they have done that whole revamp of the story where they like went back and
retconned everything.
Yeah, retconned everything and changed everything. But even after that, the story was still very linear and basic and like like surface, not like shallow kind of in a way.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, but I feel like if they were to delve into that complexity, like extra layer of complexity in Elsword, it's just be a complete game overhaul. And I feel like at this point they might have just made it a second game. They might have just make a new game just to fix up that storyline if they want to fix it up. Because I feel like at this point it's too late. They can't like make it complex anymore. It's just like if they suddenly like made it complex now, I mean it's possible,
I think they could.
But like, if they wanted to retcon the previous, like the earlier stories, it'd be like weird. It'd be impossible. So if
Yeah.
they want to make the like future stories more complex, I think that's doable. But just like earlier stories, so I don't think it's possible for them to like redeem themselves on that aspect now. And then like it
Yeah.
kind of just bothers me a lot in that aspect because you've got all these like cool moments, like Raven coming back to Velda, and that was a complete missed opportunity there in my
Yeah, I
opinion.
agree.
Yeah.
Where it's just
I can see that.
yeah, if you could have, yeah, I'm just like, oh, come on, man. Like, there's like zero mention of Raven coming back to like Velda in any kind of form of media that Kyoji makes. Like, even in the L-type manga, no mention of that there. And then it's just like, so then he just comes back to Velda, his his birth city or something, and he's just like, oh, I'm here now. Moving
Yeah.
on anyway.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah,
Moving
I was
on.
expecting some like. I was expecting kind of like angst moments to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
But then like they didn't happen. I'm like, oh,
But yeah,
Yeah.
again, that's when they didn't care about the story, obviously.
Yeah.
that's true.
So it's
Sometimes
it's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I feel like there's just one person writing this whole Elsword story, and this one person just has bias for certain characters, and then they're just like, I don't know how to write the other characters, so I'm just gonna leave them out.
Yeah.
I thought on that topic though, I wonder how much the higher ups are influencing the story because I know that usually that happens in because I know in other games usually the higher ups, as in like the people who aren't the writers, also have some influence into what happens in the story as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to think of an example. Let's see.
That's say I don't know. I mean, it could be just like, the higher ups give them, like, this set piece needs to have like let's say for example, let's use Birth for example, right? If the higher ups are just like, okay, in this arc of the story, Birth is back, and he's trying to collect all the souls of an old demon lord. However you want to do that, and he's gonna be a raid boss, and then he just goes to the story people and he's just like, however you guys want to do that, but that's what this arc is gonna be about, and then they go from there. It could be like that.
Speaking of that, I know actually the main reason why I thought of that is because I know there's a couple of examples in Ensemble Stars where they've retcon things. I mean, some things I think actually I'm not sure if it's a retcon or more like just fixing up things because I know there were some things that something that the writers put out in the stories that were like just straight up inappropriate, and then they eventually went back and fixed it. But there were other things as well that or at least the English fandom thinks that were like didn't necessarily need to be changed or were changed anyway, and I think usually the topic of like usually the character that gets censored a lot is censored in the sense that maybe a story for them comes out and then they talk in a particular way, and then maybe like sometime later they ninja patch the story so that like certain like parts of him, certain things of what he said are censored. Yeah, even like the lead writer is like tweeting and complaining about how the higher ups are making him censor the character. And he's like, no, I just want to write him as he is, so make me censor.
Well, I guess at the same time, because you're releasing this to an audience, and it's just like,
yeah,
I guess it's a bit of a like sensitive situation in that case.
I think especially if the character is like an unhinged character talking about inappropriate topics. Like, do you censor these inappropriate topics, or do you let the character like talk about the elephant in the room essentially?
What if they comedically censor it? Like he's about to zero, and then they go beep 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 beep, and then they.
Actually, they've done that once. Okay, so there's a part in the script of one of the characters. Wait, we can swear, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, actually, after the video, can we? Okay, yes, okay.
Depends.
Okay, so-
yeah, it's like if it's a normal swear, yeah.
Okay, so there's a part in the story where a character literally goes in kind of fucking son of a bitch. It's partially no, as in he says it in katakana, so then you know that it's not like, so then it's not up to translated interpretation. It's literally just fucking son of a bitch. It's partially censored.
Imagine a voice actor needing to voice that.
No, it's an event story, so come on, we can't hear him scream.
Dang.
But yeah, I know that part was partially censored. Another thing that was, we don't even know whether it's a censor or not because both of them are equally. Actually, I won't talk about it. It's kind of inappropriate. but I can divulge in private. So yeah.
Oh, okay. But it do be like that. Look, sometimes like you gotta appeal to you gotta cater towards the audience. You gotta censor certain things. Like there are something like some characters where like they're so vulgar. You're just like, all right, we need to put a we need to put a filter on this character. Like if he's about to get out of hand, we need another character to stop him or something like that.
Actually, I can go into more details about this, but again, off stream because all are really inappropriate.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But what was our original top like?
Oh no, we just transitioned to talking about Noah from a
Oh,
Noah
about
question. Yeah.
Higher ups having control of the
Okay.
story.
Okay.
Yeah, and like, at least for the English fandom, pretty much every single time they censor these kinds of things, we're just kind of like, who's proofreading these stories? Is anyone proofreading them? Like, the stuff keeps coming through.
Not gonna lie, in their defense, it's just like there's a lot to proofread. Like,
true.
yeah, like I was like thinking about like imagine the person who has to write the script for Zombies lines in Genshin Impact.
Yeah,
They're just like
like
she's just like this is so tired. Big brain. How do I get so big brain like this? And then imagine the person who had to translate all of that.
like the localization.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? They're actually asking for more localization help in their Discord.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they made a post to like add everyone.
Yeah, I can't join the Discord server because it's full. I should have joined it earlier when it wasn't full. Missed opportunity. Stupid.
Right.
Ripperoni. Whatever.
Biggest Discord in the
But-
world.
Yeah, but I was gonna say what was I saying again? Yeah, apparently like the translation, like there are certain translations in the story where I'm just like,
Okay,
yeah, from Chinese to English. I'm just like, how did they make this work in English? Like, how did they translate it so well that it worked? That somehow this pun works in English as well as Chinese. Like,
Oh yeah.
earlier in the story, and I'm just like, what was this in Chinese? Like, how did they make this work? And stuff like, it's like there are some translations that are like pretty good. Like, yeah, but it's just every now and then you get some grammatical error or like some words that like. There could have been a better word to use to instead of saying, like, for example, like most recent one I can think of is Li Yue is like something about curry or burden, something like that. I feel like the better apparently because they use this word twice, and I'm just like, is that an actual?
Oh yeah, I did actually look up the definition and I found it, but I never got to tell you.
Oh yeah.
But that is. Oh, I need to find it again because I completely forgot. My bad.
Oh yeah, it's just like even though it works, like, because even though the vocab works, right, it just feels like a weird
it's an awkward way to say it. It's awkward.
Yeah. It's just a weird way to use it, and then I'm just like, couldn't they just have gone with carry? Like, even carry, like, just carry this burden. Like, even that would have been fine or something like that. But instead they use curry, and I'm just like, wow, it's such. I've never seen anyone use that vocabulary that way before, and I'm just like,
yeah, it's definitely. What is it? It's definitely an older thing that no one uses it anymore for that.
Yeah. So I guess like aspects like that where like translations can get a bit off, but other than that, most of the Genshin translations are pretty spot on. Actually, even then, Elsword translations are not bad as well.
They're fine. There's some grammar mistakes and spelling mistakes here and there.
Yeah.
I think another thing we have to keep in mind is that these are not translations; these are localizations. So, say for example, Qiqi. Qiqi is a Jiangshi, which is it's
zombie. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not exactly the same as a Western zombie.
Yeah, there's a specific type.
Zombie is like an equivalent, but it's not the actual. It's the actual being is different.
Yeah.
There's also I guess.
But at the same time, I think like a Western audience would have known what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Saying
Well, I think there's a good amount of people who do know because there is another popular character in a fighting game, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Same concept. Yeah, that concept of the kind of people kind of just know it as the Chinese zombie. That's what people know it as. Kind of. That makes sense.
In Blade and Soul, there's one quest where like you have to go kill some zombies, but they don't call it zombies in the game. They actually call it jiangxi. So it's like there are some games definitely that actually just go with the natural like translation. But
yeah.
I think in the end it's just up to the localization.
Yeah. Like, do they want people to get it more quickly? Because I feel like, especially with in Chichi's case, they don't really actually explain how she's actually just a zombie and how she's a Walking Dead. Oh wait, no, they kind of do.
Actually,
they do.
Chichi died.
Yeah, Chichi died.
Which dying. She's constantly dying. Unfortunately for her. She literally has to do exercises so what is it, rigor mortis doesn't set in.
Oh no! Wait, is that an actual thing? I think
Yeah.
is that a story thing?
Yeah. So she does
Oh.
exercises so her rigor mortis doesn't set in.
Chichi, no! Poor girl. Yeah, this is like I guess in that case it just depends on the localization team, like what they want to do for the translation.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, I think it's also, or at least for me, it's interesting to be critical and like look at the differences in between the translations. Like, I think the one that pops into my head the most is the only PV with the like you know the part where he's talking, like you know the part where he goes to eat out with Child and Child's like, I can't even remember the English translation anymore because I can only think of the Chinese.
Oh yeah.
But you know the part where Child is like, oh well, like do they only have chopsticks here? And then Donley's like,
oh, in the trailer.
Yeah, in the trailer when he says, in the English he says something about how like if like you need to be adept at chopsticks if you want to appreciate the gastronomy. And then the Chinese said something about if you want to appreciate the gastronomy, you need to like learn. Was it like quite功夫? Yeah. So which essentially like which it literally translates to you should quickly learn chopstick martial arts.
Yeah,
which is weird. Which is weird because that sounds like an easy translation. Like.
But I guess it's just like for the sake of like
easy understanding. They
because quite gooful. It's kind of like if you literally translate it, it would be chopstick martial arts. But then it's just like.
What it means.
But I think it makes sense though because it's essentially a joke, you know.
Actually, okay. I don't know because maybe in the Chinese cultures, like they wouldn't take it as a joke. They take it as learning the chopsticks. They might take it being adept at using the chopsticks. Whereas, so I guess it's like when translating, they prefer to get the meaning like across rather than the literal translation.
Okay. Yeah. See, I thought that was like him teasing him a bit. Like.
I think that's also a very big thing with localization because you want to make sure that the meaning comes across in the most digestible way for your target audience. Personally, I know if somehow I were translated in some way, I think I would go for more the literal than the liberal. Like I'd rather be literal and then I'd rather be more the literal side and then like talk about it in like whatever translator notes I have. Like if I was doing like a fan translation, but because like at least for me, like, I'm concerned about I'm more concerned about the meanings that are lost in translation, and that's very easy to happen when it comes to localizations, especially because when you like a good if you're reading a good localization, it shouldn't sound like it. It shouldn't sound like it has been localized. If that makes any sense, like it should just sound like the original work was not like it should sound like the original work was not in another language. If that makes any sense, or at least like that's what I've read about localizations. Yeah. Whereas like how you judge a good translation is completely different because in the end you're not trying to appeal to a target audience. You're doing your best to get the meaning across, and if it means expecting your audience to be educated in some aspect of the culture or the original language, then so be it. But
I think it's just very subjective in that aspect.
But at the same time, mistranslation still happens. So
I think Sky's right in that sense that like you don't want to get to a point where like you're either misrepresenting a scene or misrepresenting a character because the job of translating is just to make it so somebody from another culture understands what's being said, not change how the character is. Like I don't think that's the intention at all.
That's true, but I guess at the same time, like there are some things that you just can't translate. Like for example, if you look at
fair.
Okay, this is this isn't really relevant to Genshin, but say for example, if you look at, for example, certain Japanese accents. I think what's a good like a Kansai, like the Kansai accent. I heard that's very. I looked on an online guide and I think they were like, do not localize Kansai accent.
Accent, like, true. Okay.
Whereas I know that, I mean, the Ensemble Stars translation team doesn't follow that. We localize it anyway.
Wait, why would you not localize Kansai dialect?
I don't actually know. I wonder whether it's got to do with the fact that it just creates like that in itself might create so many problems. Either with misrepresenting the dialect because obviously. There's some ways.
Okay, yeah, I can get it. It's essentially, I think. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it's supposed to be like there's no real equivalent that you could translate it to.
So to avoid disrespecting it, you should.
Yeah, it's like this isn't kansai. You're just changing it into something else. Like for example, I'm just gonna make another example. Is like if they translate that accent to like a country accent. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
yeah, it's like they're not country, they're kansai. You know what I mean? It's like there's no equivalent. So maybe
Yeah,
better
I
not to
think
do
I think
it.
that might be why.
Yeah. I can kind of understand that to a degree.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But as for translating, but like, okay, this is honestly such a like I don't know, like this is when I wish that I was better at Chinese, but I don't know, like sometimes I don't know, like sometimes I wish I understood the language better, so then I know like how the character acts in like how the character speaks in the original Chinese is kind of reflected. Like for example, if you look at Zhongli, like the way he uses a lot of big words. And there's also that Chinese is one of those languages where you can squish a billion different meanings into like as
gotta
little
say,
as syllable.
Chinese is
Yeah,
a
so,
ancient language.
Yeah.
Very
yeah,
powerful.
so then because of that, usually if you find someone who speaks like an old man, it's usually when they use like as little conjunctions as possible. It's the whole like squishing as much meaning as you can into little syllables. Take that into
idioms, proverbs, Chinese proverbs. There's a chenyu. They call it chenyu in Chinese. It's just like it's just those like four. There's just like there's words. There's like proverbs that has like 4 characters in it, but then
a billion meanings.
it's just so much meaning. Like it could be something like mama hoo hoo. It's just like which literally just means this guy's like this guy's how do I explain it? He's confused. He's very confused or something like that. Or like it's just like and it's just there's so many of these terminology and like they make you study it in Chinese class and I'm like, oh my god, my brain's fried.
Yeah, so because of that, because of that, I guess it's a very like it can be difficult to translate, like get across that particular meaning because sometimes the beauty in the language is being able to convey so much in so little.
Yeah.
Whereas like in English you can't replicate that.
Yeah.
So
English is more so just like analyzing, like finding the like the subtleties in the text and just like what does this subtlety represent?
There's also a million words that mean the same thing in English. That's like a consistent thing in English.
Yeah, so because of like I want to be able to comment on how the localization team has like translated like character's personality in the original language to how they speak in English, but I don't know. My Chinese isn't strong enough for that.
Yeah,
I can't understand the majority of what he says. I'm sorry.
I know the biggest mistranslation you told me yesterday during my Liu story run through was just like that bit about Child saying like he was very aggressive in English, but in Chinese he was not as aggressive.
I think so far at least from what I know, I think that one is like probably the worst offender in Genshin because those are 2 very very different phrases.
Yeah.
Because okay, so really quick for those who don't know, after you beat Child, he initiates his Plan B, which is to send a giant god to ravage Liyue. And in the English, he goes like essentially, I hate working with weaker people. But in he says I hate working with weaker people. But in the Chinese, he's saying like I hate to involve weaker people. 2 very different meanings.
Yeah. So that's like. Oh yeah, that's a big what?
It's a big what?
Yeah, like what?
Yeah.
That they make like and because of that, like in English, he's kind of seen like
egoistical
asshole.
Yeah.
Asshole. But in Chinese, he's actually a considerate person.
Yeah, he just is brought to this point because of everything that's going on.
I feel like that's definitely something. I feel like that's kind of a big deal. I
think. That's the worst one. Definitely.
Yeah, something that needs to be brought up with the translation team or something like that. But in regards to the whole like pet peeve of mistranslation topics, there's one in Elsword that I get really annoyed by. It's the hernia to hernia.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's a pronunciation definitely kind of thing.
I think the problem is also that hernia is also the name of a disease.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that too.
If it wasn't, I think the community wouldn't be freaking out as much.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought I was the only one who hated it or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, they changed her into.
Yeah, they should have. I think they should have wrote it as harnier instead of hernia.
Yeah.
I think they should have done harnier.
Yeah, Tuna translated the best.
But I think one thing to keep in mind is that Tuna is a single is like while his native. Like I think according to the way he speaks, like he has an accent when he speaks. So I'm assuming here that he's a native Korean speaker. But at the same time, you have to consider that he is a translator. Like he's a single translator, whereas a localization team is a group of. It's not really a group of translators, but translators who have also had to like study, actually like go to education, study the language,
Mm-hmm.
and then like because there's things that you get out of studying a language versus like being able. I guess being able to natively speak the language is good, but at the same time, like there's something. There are things that you learn when you actually like go to like university or college and actually study the language. Or at least like that. Or at least that's what I've been told. Like the localization team would have been full of people who actually have degrees in this, and then
even then, why did I choose hernia of all words?
It's like,
Yeah,
whoa,
I think that was just a misstep. I think.
Yeah, I think, and also like it's just a name. It's not like not like a meaning.
Yeah, I think that one was just a weird decision that they just shouldn't have made, in my opinion. Because you know it's funny too, because sometimes that'll happen too, definitely with names. One of the best examples I can think of is JoJo, because not many really people talk about it. Crow, I know you watched part 3 with me. So you know the character Abdul, right? Abdul. So some people were saying, I've seen a couple posts about it on Reddit and stuff like that, that his name very well might be Abdul, but the way people say it in Japan, Abdul, sounds like Abdul. So when they brought it, yeah, because Abdul is a name where he's from, you know, for sure. Abdul isn't really a name, but it's like the way the Japanese say Abdul is they might have just translated as Abdul because they're hearing Japanese people say this different name, say Abdul, but they're hearing it as Abdul, so they call him Abdul. And that's another thing as well.
Actually, okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because his name does sound like Abdul instead of Abdul. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
But if a Japanese person's saying it, sounds like Abdul.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Because considering how like Abdul's meant to be from that, his background is from the. Well, I actually don't know his background. Is he South Asian or is he Egyptian?
I think it's Egyptian.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay, makes sense. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. Yeah. But in that case, I actually don't mind that much. Because I feel like it sounds similar.
Yeah. In that case, it's just like, not sure kind of thing.
Yeah. Because like, that one's I'm fine.
Yeah, I think that's when it comes to names, it's just when certain people say certain names with like their different accents or things like that, some things can be lost in translation of like how you're meant to say this name or how this name is supposed to be. Unless you like really got a person like on the dev team who speaks both languages and they can just be like, okay, this is how you say in the other language. I think there might always be some mistakes here and there with translating the name and things like that.
I guess. Dang. But then again, it's like can't be helped. Language is hard. It's like there's only so much like accuracy they can get through translations.
Yeah, honestly, the best thing you can do is to learn a language.
Yeah,
and play the original video, and then because again, there's like things that you just can't replicate in. Like there'll always be things lost in translation. So the best thing is to learn a language and play the original thing.
Yeah, for example, I know there's a lot of phrases in Japanese that there's no English equivalent to it.
Yeah.
I've just seen like a list of like just some fun, quirky like phrases that can't be translated to English. Like there's one phrase for when something. There was one phrase about procrastination where like procrastination to the end, and it's just like I forgot what the phrases. But it's just like the one is just like there's just so many phrases where like you can't translate it to English because they don't have an English equivalent. And if you had to translate it, you're kind of more so explaining the original line. The original term rather than actually like translating.
Yeah.
You know what's funny too? I was thinking about translation things when it comes to the Iceburner that just came out, Horde of Darkness. I was kind of thinking about it, and I'm just like, because that's such a different name to the fan translation, which was Darkness Sculpture. But I guess at the same time, Darkness Sculpture doesn't really mean anything. You know what I mean? Because none of the pieces really kind of involve a sculpture of any kind or like things like that. Well, Horde of Darkness sounds like maybe like almost like an army of darkness. This is what they look like, kind of thing like that. But at the same time, I would say that like Darkness Sculpture definitely sounds cooler. But it's interesting to think about. But I can definitely see why they changed it to Horde of Darkness, because Darkness Sculpture doesn't really sound like. It sounds cool, but what does that mean? What's that mean?
Yeah. Actually, funny that you mentioned that, because Sky and I were actually talking about it last night.
Oh, okay.
Radiant Flower.
Oh, the Radiant Flower, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, Radiant Flower.
Emilio, do you know this?
No, I don't. I might have forgot it.
Okay, so radiant flower I think in Korean as well as in Japan. I think in the Korean it's hyakagoran, which is a Japanese idiom that literally means 100 flowers blooming at once.
Oh, okay.
And it's an idiom that kind of symbolizes maybe the gather. It's an idiom that symbolizes the gathering of many great things. So say for example you might have like a conference. Say for example you might have like some international science conference and you have a lot of like the world's best minds gathered in one place. That's kind of like what the idiom means.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But
Interesting.
but then in NA they translated that but they
More
localized
literal.
it as
Okay.
yeah, which loses like all the meaning of the like. There's no traces of the idiom left other than the flower bit.
That's you know that's so interesting too. Is when it comes to idioms or when it comes to what are they called, proverbs or things like that. You know, there's a literal meaning and well not there's when you say it it sounds weird when you literally hear it or it sounds odd, but like you need to know that kind of like what it actually means kind of thing like that. And that's definitely another thing that can get lost in translation. And I think this might have happened with this. Could be.
But yeah, at the same time, because I think in Chinese as well, it's called 100 flower or something.
Yeah.
100.
Yeah, 100 flower something.
Because like if you don't know the idiom, then you would not know, like, you know what I mean? You just take it literally.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like in English. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, like, at the same time, if you literally translated like 100 flowers something, I feel like it'd either be a really long ice burner name or it just like doesn't sound as cool as radiant flower.
Yeah. In the end, radiant flower just like it's a name that captures the aesthetic of the set enough, I think.
And that too, it's like radiant flower definitely captures what it looks like, so it probably was fun.
Yeah, true, definitely.
So I guess there was a compromise there, in that you might have. But at the same time, though, I don't think there's a smooth way in which you would have been. Like 100 flowers might be the best you could do, but at the same time, it's like
it doesn't, like,
even that one, it's a bit English-y, if you know what I mean.
The what?
It's a bit English, like kind of like it's a weird way to say it, like 100 flowers.
Yeah, 100 flowers.
Yeah, it doesn't encapsulate the beauty of this set if you say.
Yeah, so at the same, so like they've I guess in that sense they've compromised the. Oh, another one that I thought of is you know the title of the Setting Sun. I probably talked about this before.
Oh yeah.
Setting Sun. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I did mention. So yeah, what is it called for real?
The setting. I think if you translate it from Korean literally, it's God's twilight.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because it's a star.
Yeah, but at the same time, they've gotten rid of the God part completely in the title.
Yeah.
In the English localization, at least, which I thought that was an interesting choice. Like the half, like I don't know, like to me that sounds like a pretty important component of the title, but
it is. I mean, a lot of American studios will do that, where they try to not include like religious connotations or like connotations to like other certain things. Just so they can be neutral for whatever, you know, what have you. I know a lot of companies would do that. Like I know they've eased up on it recently, but a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, they would have a lot of like crosses and things like that, and when it came to the American card game, they would censor the crosses and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's a very American thing to kind of censor that type of stuff.
Fair.
So that might be why. Maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, I would say that makes a lot more sense for that title than the Setting Sun. Because it's a star.
Makes sense. Alright.
Yeah. It's also talking about, what is it? The God part talks about like why it's so strong.
Fair. But yeah, I think like to summarize, it's just like there's just some things that you can't like. It's difficult to. Yeah, just translations. Just like things can be lost in translations and stuff, and it's just like really hard to accurately 100% translate everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we move on to another question?
You
Sure.
wanna? Okay. What do you think this one?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, so I guess these two questions kind of come hand in hand. Like there's some overlap.
Yeah.
So I'll ask them together. So what are some things you do to counteract burnouts, and what kind of activities do you do for self-care? Do you guys want to go first?
Hey, Media, you want to go first?
Burnout. So whenever I get a burnout, there's just multiple things I do. I can
Uh-huh.
either take a break and relax. I could just do something else depending on what's giving me burnout. Like if I have burnout from making videos, sometimes I'll
Mhm.
do something else or just not make something.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, those are just kind of the main ones, and they usually do the spot. Yeah, it's that just helps me. Is either taking a break or doing something else.
Oh, I thought media like you like when you get burnt out you just ignore it and you just keep going and you just keep doing it or something like that. That's my impression of
Nah,
you media.
no, I wouldn't force myself to do something if I didn't enjoy it. At least to a decent
Oh,
degree.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's okay.
Mhm.
No comment. No, okay. No, because I was thinking like, because didn't you say like end of last year when you didn't want to do ELS stream but you still pushed through and did it anyway?
Yeah, because I was gonna say I didn't enjoy having to. Well, first of all, that's something I told you personally. So, as I said, I'd rather not talk about that. But um, in that sense, I enjoyed giving back to the community. That's still something I enjoyed.
Okay, fair. What if you got like burnout on like making content?
That yeah, I would do something else or take a break.
Uh, okay, fair. Do you ever get like burnouts when you're making content for YouTube?
Uh, I have sometimes, and yeah, just took a break or did something different.
Oh, really?
But I'm gonna go like
Okay, yeah,
hold on.
sure. Um, okay. Okay, fair enough. Okay, I won't interrogate you any more than necessary. For me, what are something? Actually, for me, I feel like I have this issue of making too many excuses for myself. So there's like, when I do get a burnout, I get very lazy, and I'm just like, and then it's just like I start taking a break, but then after I start taking a break, I don't know how to get out of that taking that break mood. So in a way, I
Oh
guess it's
really?
just like yeah. It's just like I do have that self care, but then it's just like getting out of that self care. It's just like excessive self care to the point where it's a bit detrimental because then I get nothing done and I become super unproductive. And
Yeah, I
then it's
don't
just
know.
like I
Yeah,
just,
you might have to try something different. For me,
yeah.
I'll take a break either if it's like a nap or doing something else, and then it's just like when I'm done with that, it's just like all right, time to do it. The break's over. I do my other thing now. It's time to do it again. Like, I get encouragement to do it.
Yeah,
So
I
I say
can't
try
like.
something else if that ain't
I
working.
feel like I don't have that self discipline. I'm like very like
Lazy.
yeah lazy.
People are just different. People are just different. What works for me won't work for you. What works for me might not work for anybody else. You know, that's just how I do it. I think find something that works for you.
Yeah, like for me, I just know I personally like I need to do something for someone else to be motivated to do something, or I have
Yeah.
someone else drag me to do something in order for motivation. If I'm doing it, if it's for myself, I'm just like I'm so unmotivated and like, I get burnt out so easily, and it's just like ugh, so
Yeah.
annoying. But what about you, Sky? How do you deal with burnouts?
Oh, do I deal with them? That's a great question.
Do you do like hey, that's a mood? Do I deal with them or not?
At the same time, though, like it's a very difficult question for me to answer because I don't actively like think about going to burnout if that makes any sense. Like
Mm.
so it's more like say for example I might get up, I might not,
Mm-hmm.
I might be like I might go about my day and then I go to sleep and I get up the next day and then I'll like go do my thing, go to sleep and then like the day just repeat. But I don't really think about whether I go into burnout or not. So it's kind of like if I ever do go into burnout, I just go, oh, it was just a bad day. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't really consciously think, oh, I'm in burnout right now.
True.
So
It's kind of like an in a moment kind of thing.
yeah. But if I do like become unproductive, usually it doesn't affect just one thing. It usually affects everything.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe one day like I might be feeling particularly unmotivated. It won't just be playing Elsword or playing Genshin or doing literally it'll be for literally anything. Like I'll just like potato, like I'll just sit there like a potato, and go to YouTube. Oh look, it's 4 p.m. Okay, it's time to eat.
Yeah.
And then so
I feel like a lot of people do that actually. Like, cause like I know even people close to me like sometimes they just have days where just like they don't
don't want to do it. Don't want to do anything.
They just wanna lays around in pajamas and just chill in bed on YouTube or something. It's like, I actually don't think that's a bad thing. It's
Yeah,
just like
that's a normal thing.
Yeah, so sometimes I wonder whether like that counts as burnout because those are the times where I'm like in the back of my there's a voice in the back of my head where I'm like, come on, you can just do it. Let's force yourself to do one little thing.
Yeah.
Do your read dailies. That's it. Just read dailies and then you're done for the day. Woo, and then I just don't do it.
Yeah. Mood. That's actually a big mood of life.
Yeah, so at least from what I've been taught regarding or at least I guess for me, it's kind of like I don't know whether I have times where I'm really unmotivated, but I don't know whether that is a completely different thing from burnout or whether that is burnout. But I know that especially when it comes to like that kind of thing, like at least from what I've heard, the best thing to do is to like just do like something really small. So then that way you can start getting a positive spiral going. Whereas if you sit around and do nothing, then like that might continue. And from personal experience, yes, it does continue. So. Or at least like sometimes I pray that like I just sit there and go maybe I'll feel better tomorrow and then it just
yeah.
Like one thing that's important that I guess that I've learned that like a piece of advice that I've learned that I don't follow myself, which is kind of ironic, is that yeah, like just doing that little thing, like forcing like even if it means like forcing yourself to get out of bed, forcing yourself to log into Elsword, do read more days on one character. It's like it's still the beginning of the positive spiral. Like you can then afterwards you can go to bed and think, okay, like I've done something. I'm not gonna feel like horrible for the rest. I'm not gonna be beating myself up for the rest of the day thinking that I've done nothing. Like I've done something. And then
that's good too.
Yeah, then once you do one little thing, that begins the positive spiral. Then you go, okay, if I can do one set of dailies, I can do 2 sets of dailies.
Yeah, there's
or maybe 2 sets of dailies, or maybe I can do some heroic dailies. Okay, maybe I can expand that to okay, if I can do all those things, maybe I can like burn my stamina on one character, and then it just snowballs from there. So yes, positive spiral is a good thing. Yes.
There's a very famous quote. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but it's just it goes along the lines of whenever you wake up in the morning, make sure you make your bed. When you make sure you make your bed, then you made sure you did one successful thing every morning. You know, just kind of that same idea of just like, you know, even if you're not feeling encouraged, you know, do a little small task and consider that an achievement and keep going with that. Because the problem I feel like a lot of people get into, and I've gotten into this before, is like when you're not doing something and then you feel like you're wasting time or like being useless or whatever just because you're not doing something, you know. Even if you make a small little achievement or a small little goal and you complete that, you know, it's still something to be worthy of praise.
True. Okay, yeah.
Also another thing is I know. Okay, well this is I guess along that lines. I know there's a Oh, that's right. So I was talking with another writer who does Elsword, who writes for Elsword, and they said that the main thing that so a common struggle that a lot of writers have is completing
Wait, what the heck? Hold on. What? Oh, why? I heard a sound. Sorry, real quick. Crow donated me $1, and like, I forgot I put the sound effect as the sound effect for that. Thank you.
Dude, I was trying to listen to it, but I think I missed it, and then I was like, ah, crap. Okay, I'll donate it another time. I was like, I'll listen to it.
I was like, I heard that, and I was like, is this video playing in the background? Wait, what? Sorry about that.
So yeah.
But yeah, so the writer said that so they're known as Just for Fun. You might know them. They write for I think they write primarily Vtuber. But anyway, so the point is, I asked them like, how do you complete these multi-chapter stories? Like so many, like I know a lot of writer friends who have like problems with like staying motivated and committed the whole way. And then they're like, okay, so they're like, oh, my secret is just to force myself to write something. So force myself to write something on a regular basis. So what they do is, I think they're fairly busy with work. So I think every week, or like I don't know how often they do it, but on a regular basis, they allocate like an hour or something to writing, and then they sit down and they write, and then they just force themselves like through the hour. It doesn't like maybe they'll only get a paragraph done. That's okay. they've committed to that. They've committed writing to the hour and they got something done. And then they said that even like this might mean that they get work done at a turtle pace, but at least they get things completed. Whereas like I guess if you write things like whereas I guess if you rely on like bursts of inspiration, you might write like a couple of chapters in one go, but then like you might not do anything for the next few weeks, and that's kind of a problem, I guess.
Yeah.
I actually don't know about the mentality of forcing yourself to do something even though you don't want to do it. Like, isn't it?
It can be good or bad.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I don't like to do that because I feel like, at least for me, I feel like whenever I force myself to do things, I put out something that is of lower quality.
Yeah.
And whereas if I really get into the zone, I feel like I'm putting out something good. So, although I don't really know. I should get a second opinion on that because in the end, like, it's just mine. So
True. Yeah.
I could try.
Yeah. True.
Anyway. Yeah. Okay. So the second part, what kinds of do you guys want to add anything else on the first question?
Nah. The second part, I don't actually. I kind of briefly said the second part when I answered it. I was just kind of like,
What was the second part again? I forgot.
I was saying something about like I'm very like I give myself a lot of excuses for when it comes to self-care. Like I just like when I start relaxing, I relax a lot. Like I just don't know how to get it out of the relaxation process. So I was like, that's kind of my method of self-care, just to like chill and relax in a way. But then I guess like it can do that here. But yeah, I guess it's like that's pretty much what I do. Just like chill, play Elsword, play Genshin, do something I like or something like that. Do something that will make me happy. I think that's what self-care should be. Do something that makes you happy, that you enjoy doing or something. So what do you guys think?
Oh, me, don't go first.
Wait. I don't quit. Wait, what was the question? I didn't completely understand the question.
What kind of activities do you do for self-care?
Oh, what did I do for self-care? I mean, yeah, pretty much what Crow was saying. Just playing a game I don't have to record anything for or stream anything for. Just streaming itself can be like that for me. Yeah.
What's your care routine?
I don't really have a routine. It could just be simply me just lying down for a bit.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Like just relaxing, I guess, is self-care. Yeah, because someone immediately leak your skincare routine, please, for self-care purposes.
I don't think I have one of those.
Wait, speaking of skincare, do you guys think Raven would have soft skin or like rough skin?
Rough.
Rough? Okay.
I don't think he'd bother with skincare. I mean, like, he'd take care of his skin to the point where it's kind of like because he doesn't want it to like die or anything. I feel like it'd be like his hair, like bare minimum.
But my mom said that guys tend to have like tougher skin than girls in a way, like tough, in Chinese ways. She was just saying like girls have like very tender, like girls' face is very soft and very tender, whereas guys' face tend to be very like.
Yeah, at that point it's just genes. At that point.
I don't know though. I need to touch my brother's face because it's more likely for girls to get like skin breakouts and stuff than guys, something like that. So I was like, maybe Raven doesn't even need a skincare routine. Maybe he'll just naturally have a soft.
Yeah, maybe just splash his face with water like every morning and he'll be good to go.
Yeah, he's good. That's his self-care.
That's all up to genes at the end of the day. If you're not doing something specific.
Yeah, I'm sure Raven would have a pretty toned face though. So it's just like cut your finger on his jawline or something.
But yeah, obviously guys can still take care of their skin to make it look like if you look at like male idols, for example, they probably have an extensive skincare routine.
Yeah. The baby face syndrome.
Speaking of that, I remember there was one time where a League of Legends player, like you probably heard of Faker, but yeah, I remember I was watching some stream highlights one day, and then he came on stream with like the biggest like breakout all over his face, and then people asked him like, "Hey, what happened to your face?" And he was like, "Oh, I put some oil on my face," and it turned out it was hair oil. And then, because I think he uses something to contain. I think he usually uses something to contain his breakouts, but then he used like the wrong product one day.
No.
And it just like kaboom.
Oh no! My top 10 anime.
Yeah.
Oh, but what about you, Sky? What do you do for self care?
Do we mean self-care from like the physical aspect or the mental aspect?
Both. Yeah.
Physically,
Yeah. Both do go fit under the self care category.
physically, that's really hard to say because I don't. At this point, it's more like. At this point, self-care is just doing normal things that normal people do,
Mm-hmm.
rather than like actually like, okay, I'm gonna go out of my way to be extra healthy. It's just more like being healthy. Period. It's kind of self-care for me.
Yes.
I think for me, it's especially. I think eating.
Eating. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
another one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because usually I don't. Because usually I don't eat. Usually I don't eat that much. Like a lot of like on days where I'm especially lazy, I'll get up and I'll eat like a small. I'll eat like a small snack in the afternoon, and then I'll have like a proper dinner, and then maybe I'll have like another snack at like later that night, and then like that's it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe, and then I think, but then usually what happens is when I do this for like a couple of days, what ends up happening is like I'll wake up and then I get out of bed and I'm like, oh wow, I'm like really dizzy, and then or sometimes even if I just like in the afternoon, like I'll just lie down and then get up and then like everything spins and I'm like, holy shit. And then so I think sometimes I'm like, okay, I need to like actually eat, otherwise I'm just like,
no.
otherwise I'm like,
Eat your meals, guys. Eat your meals.
don't split meals.
You know, Media's routine for eating, he just eats when he's hungry, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, he
You get hungry?
Yeah.
I'm joking. Sorry.
Wait, what did you say? I think I missed that.
No, Scar was saying, you get hungry?
Yeah, I do.
Your media just eats when he gets hungry, and I'm like, what? Well, don't you? Well, actually, I prefer that more, because you know how living with my parents, right? It's like dinner time comes, and I have to eat, even though I had a meal. I might have had a meal 2 hours earlier, and I might be like stuffed, but then the parents would just go, dinner time, you gotta eat, and I'm just like, I can't eat, like, and I take like 3 bites, and I'm like dying already. I'm just like, I can't eat, and he's like, what the fuck? Well, why don't you eat so like? Are you okay? Like, why aren't you eating? And it's like, aren't you hungry? I'm like, no, I ate 2 hours ago. But it's just like with this family, like I have to eat at this time. Like they give the time where like you gotta eat with them, because like I feel like specifically in Chinese culture, it's like it's very traditional that you eat with the family.
Yes.
Dinner with the family, right? So then because of that, it's just like sometimes I just don't want. I just want to skip dinner, but I can't. I don't have that option to skip dinner. I have to eat dinner. But this is like it's so unfair, because one time Auntie came over from China. She was living with us, and what happened was her and Dad skipped dinner, and then they made us eat. But also like I was because we went out that day, right? And we ate a lot during lunch. But then the thing is, my brother and I were also like them. We were way too stuffed to eat, but they still made us eat, but they weren't eating. And I'm like, excuse me, what is this double standard?
No, it's the Chinese classic.
Yeah, it's like they care for us, but then they're not eating, and they make us eat, and we're not hungry either. And then they complain that we don't eat much, and I'm just like, huh?
Yeah, that's a super Asian culture thing. If you visit, at least in Indian culture, if you visit somebody else's house, they're gonna make you eat something. Essentially, they're gonna give you food, and it's rude to not accept it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess it's like kind of like a hospitality kind of thing, but it's just
Yeah.
like relax.
Yeah, sometimes they can get too encroaching.
Yeah, like almost like literally every single time I go to China, and then I meet my grandparents, and they're all like, "Wow, you're so thin. We need to fatten you up." Like this is a very literal translation, by the way.
Yeah, because like in traditional, like in like the more like olden day Asian culture, they think that the thicker a girl is, it's more appealing.
Yeah,
that's a thing in Indian culture too. Is the bigger or fatter you look, that is a status of wealth, because if you look bigger, that means you have a lot to eat and things like that. So you're kind of almost indulging. So if you look like that, it's just like you're seen as richer or whatever.
Yeah. And I heard as well, it's also like this idea of like child rearing, the thicker you are, it's just like easier, it's better for the kid, or something like that. The idealism as well for women specifically. But it's just like I agree. Where like every time you go back to China, it feels like I gain a couple of kilos.
So long.
too much food. There's actually too much food in
Yeah.
China. It's just like, it's so ironic because like, you know how like 20, 30 years ago they were in poverty, but all of a sudden there's too much food in China.
Yeah.
And I go there, every time I go there, I'm gaining like a couple of kilos. I'm like, oh my god. And then every time I'm just like, when I get back to Australia, I'm going to the gym. I'm hitting the gym. Like, holy shit, man, there's too much food here.
Mm.
But
I think ultimately they mean well, but
they mean well, but it's just like,
culture's very different.
it's just like, guys, chill, please.
I don't
Right. Yeah.
I'm stuffed already. But it's like, it's like an endearing kind of way, but yeah. But sometimes I wish it's just like it wasn't that excessive.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have a. For me, like depending, I guess for me, sometimes I'm bothered by this kind of hospitality, but I guess it's a. I don't know whether I want to go into the whole story considering we've got it derailed.
No, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. So for me, self-care is just sleeping on time
Mhm.
and eating.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, it's on the physical side.
Yeah.
For the mental side, do I really do anything? Not really.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mental side, I feel like you just like do something you enjoy. I guess that's about it.
Yeah, but I think the problem is like, especially when I get to that kind of stage where nothing feels enjoyable. I definitely get those. I definitely get those moments.
Mhm.
Where I really just don't want to. Where I don't want to do anything.
Mm.
Well, I guess it's mostly the days when I just don't have motivation.
Mm.
Like even though I enjoy games, like I don't even want to play games. Like, I don't want to Elsword. I don't want to do.
Mm.
I don't want to log into Genshin. I don't want to. Like I literally just don't want to do anything. And sometimes I'm like,
Potato.
why? Yeah, I'm just a potato, and I'm just like, why?
Hey, nothing wrong with rolling around in bed every now and then. I think it's
Why?
cute. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, it's more like I want to be productive and play games and all that, but then my brain is like, no, you've got to stay in bed. And then it's like flail, and then
Nah, it's okay. A lot of people get those days where it's just like, I just want to be lazy. I'm gonna stay in bed all day and just like be a potato. No, I think like times like this, I think it's fine. Just like Netflix in bed. Like if you had like a partner or something, like with that'd be the dream.
yeah.
Just chilling in bed all day, just watch Netflix or something.
But you know, finding the partners. That's the biggest problem.
Wait, speaking of partners, I actually wanted to like ask this random question. It's like in regards to like say you had a partner and it's just like you want to bring them along to an event.
Or,
Do you go, oh, can my girlfriend or can my boyfriend come? Or do you just say, can my friend come? To like, cause say you're
Wait,
in, like,
what do you mean? Like,
So like, for example, your friends invite you to something, right? You're a group of friends. You're talking in a group, and like they don't know that you have a partner and stuff. It's like, but then you want to invite your partner. Would you address them as your friend, or would you address them as can I invite my girlfriend?
girlfriend/boyfriend.
yeah, I would say girlfriend. If they didn't know, then we have that conversation when it happens.
Because I feel like if I say like, can my boyfriend come? I feel like I'm kind of flaunting this idea of not having a boyfriend, and I get super embarrassed about.
You
it.
think?
Same.
I don't think so.
But at the same time, if I were to say like, if I were to just call him, can my friend come? I feel like I'd be offending my boyfriend, and
You might not like. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like,
Yeah, I can feel.
I guess like in that case, like loophole. Can I invite someone?
Can I invite someone?
Okay. I think someone would be the same thing as the second thing.
Mm.
Really? Yeah. No, I don't get that at all. I'm like, if I was dating somebody and a group of friends asked me to come along to something and they didn't know I was dating somebody, I would definitely just say girlfriend, and then they would just be like, oh, you have a girlfriend, and then we would talk about that, and then that would be the end of
it's
that.
just like, because here's the thing, I actually don't like that. You have a boyfriend talk, because then I feel like I feel so embarrassed. I'm like, I'm just like, don't, let's not talk about, because like back when I was dating Alan, right? Because we were dating for a long time. Because it's not asking questions. I was just like, you have a boyfriend? How long have you guys been dating? Oh my god, when did you guys get? And I'm just like, stop. I get super flustered, and because of that, I get really scared of calling him. I'm saying, can my boyfriend come and stuff like that? Because it gets really embarrassing when they start talking about this question, which is why I ask. Because I feel like I don't know if like guys have the same like.
Nah, I don't know. I think guys are definitely more proud of it, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Like obviously, like I feel proud. Like I think girls would still be proud about having a partner, right? But it's just embarrassing.
Like feels a bit more self-conscious.
Yeah, self-conscious, just like too much attention. Ah.
I guess it was also like in doing conversation. I guess it's also the same. I guess it's also along the same lines as saying like, "Wow, something good happened to me," or like,
yeah.
and then
like you want people to like pat you on the head or something else.
Yeah, but I guess and then maybe like some people want to be able to say, "Wow, something good happened to me," without a billion other people asking a billion questions.
Yeah, and just I guess something like that. And also, I don't want to come off as like boasting about it. Like
I think for me that would be, or like if I was in that situation, then I think that would be a big one for me. But at least, I guess I have other personal reasons why I wouldn't want to fall in a relationship. But yeah, pretty much.
But would you still say girlfriend, boyfriend, or what would you say then?
I'd say friend.
Friend?
I'd say girlfriend.
Okay. Because then people might think like, oh, they're best friend. Because I guess like if I've been hanging out with this particular group of friends, and maybe my partner will be involved, then maybe they might think like, oh, like these two people are like best friends, for example, right?
True.
And then I can just go, oh, can I invite my friend? And then, or at least like oh, I don't know. I feel like I'd also have the conversation like beforehand with my partner and going like, hey, if this situation happens to us, do you mind if I address you as X? I mean, do you mind if I address you as like a friend or? Like I think I'd have the conversation with my partner as well to check if they're okay with it. And then the best case scenario is that they share the same opinions and they're like, okay, I'm happy to. I don't want you to feel embarrassed. I don't want to be embarrassed either. We'll go each other.
You think so? I don't know. At least for me, I'd be like, that'd be a bit cold. For me, I'd be like, oh, like if someone told me that, I'd be like, oh, I guess like I still might do it, but it still might hurt a little bit to be like, so you don't want to tell people. That's cool, I guess.
Okay.
I think just might be a difference with like genders and how it
might be. I don't know. I definitely feel that way.
Like multiple guys and see how.
Hey, you can use your connections.
Wait, really? I'm asking.
Cause like that's a little bit of a problem that happens. Well, I'm not sure if it happens, but I've heard it happen before with like female streamers. They specifically will not reveal that they have a boyfriend, just so more guys will essentially simp for them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think it's kind of messed up. Like that specific example.
I heard about one time there was a girl who did this TikTok thingamajig, and she gained like a lot of followers. She got a lot of simps, but then she accidentally dropped the fact that she has a boyfriend, and then everyone tried to cancel her for that.
Whoa.
And like
and that's extra dumb too.
They actually managed to get her Twitter banned because of that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that part isn't the girl's fault. Like that specific situation, that's on the fault of the simps. Like what is wrong with y'all?
Yeah, it's just like this idea. Like I guess like I'm not sure how big of an impact this is. I feel like we might not think it's a big deal, but it might have a bigger play into a girl's of specifically a female Twitch streamer's popularity than one might think. It's just like they actually can't say that they're dating. If they do, they kind of lose their appeal in a way. If you're not a big streamer already.
I guess it's kind of like idols in general.
Yeah.
Like idols can't date.
Yeah, idols can't do it for the same reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was like, when I first heard the idea that like K-pop idols are not allowed to get into a relationship, I was so shocked. I was like, why? Like that's like, why would you do that? But then now that I realize like I watch a lot of Twitch videos, and I'm like, dang, if these girls said they had a boyfriend, they'd lose so much appeal to them.
Yep.
Like my audience. Like, shit.
But I mean, I'd say I'm the idols. Like you're supposed to look up to them.
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be like you're supposed to look up to them. I guess, and
dude, I don't.
It's not. Yeah, it's not a healthy thing, but something that happens.
Yeah, it's not healthy because like there's this issue like. So pretty much the K-pop like Asian communities when it comes to idol, they're so toxic. It's like they look up to their idol like they're some god. They like worship them, and then they forget that these idols are humans as well.
Yeah.
So if like these idols mess up, the fans get so triggered, and then they just hate on the idol, and then like they forget that the idol is also a human, and it's just like. And because of that, K-pop industry can be so toxic sometimes. The K-pop community. You know
what's funny? I feel like they're talking about all this. I feel like people in general are nicer to VTubers, and I'm wondering why. Because that's happened before in the VTuber community, and from what I've heard, I've only dipped my only dipped a little bit into the community and known about it a little bit. But there was this one big thing that happened with a streamer called Kiryu Coco, where
Oh yeah, I heard of it.
she had messed up and did something bad. And a lot of her fans just stood by her and were just like, it's okay, you made a mistake, you know, it's all right, things like that.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's interesting. I wonder what's the
I think it
difference.
was her company that had to let her go for what she did, right?
They didn't let her go. They barred her from
So-
doing streams and stuff like that for a
Oh,
little bit.
oh, and then her fans were really outraged by what her
Yeah,
company did.
essentially,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, in that aspect, that's pretty nice of them. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
I
I'm wondering
wonder-
what the difference is.
I wonder if it's because they put up the face of the fictional character.
It could be.
Maybe.
It could be. And
Yeah.
oh, you know what's something actually really? Oh man, I don't know if I should talk about this because it is such a thing. Okay. You know,
Wow.
I'll be vague about it just because for respect reasons. Essentially,
Okay.
some VTubers do have other YouTube channels and other things where like you know who they are and know who their face are, but people don't talk about that because there's a concept of essentially keeping the character. I forget what it's called. It's a specific Japanese word, I think.
Yeah,
But
so
it's
keeping that imagery of the character.
right,
Yeah.
right. It's just like this is the idea of like you don't talk about this person's real face. You don't talk about like what's underneath them or like who they are. It's like this person is this idol. That's who they are. That's who they're
Yeah.
portraying. So there's a respect and like there's a clear distinction between these two, and you don't talk about who they actually are. Like that is very disrespectful, and it's crazy. It's so crazy. Like when you think about the internet, a place where everything gets revealed and like everybody gets like exposed and things like that. I'm just like, it's interesting that VTubers kind of like go like the community. Maybe they're not big enough or what have you. It's interesting that like a internet thing created on the internet is respecting those rules. Kind of respecting that privacy. It's really interesting.
I guess and actually that brings up another topic I want to talk about, which is like this is like part of the reason why I'm so like against the idea of using a webcam for stream. It's just because you know how I already stream without a webcam. I just think that viewers already have this they have this imagery of you, like subconsciously they've already made an imagery of you in their head, and then the moment you reveal how you look to them, they're like it kind of subverts their expectations, right? And
Oh yeah, 100%.
It could like maybe it would change their opinion of you, like for sure. Like you might think, oh no, it's not gonna change my opinion of you, but subconsciously it does like influence how that person
Yeah, it
will
does
view you.
for sure.
Yeah. So because of that, it's just like it's because of that, like what if I actually reasons like this is like why I don't want to get a webcam is just because like I'm scared I betray their imagery of me or something like that. That is like something like that.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I think that might be a little bit
Really?
left field.
I think it's a thing from person to person.
Yeah. I mean, I think it definitely is a scary thing to like be like, what if people are gonna judge me for how I look, or like, what if people aren't gonna like me anymore because of how I look? And that's definitely something I've thought about too, especially when have this goal about webcam. But I think the way I at least counteract it for me is I think about all the fun stuff or funny stuff I can do with the webcam, and I definitely have ideas and things that I can do. And I think, for better or for worse, I think I'm gonna I'll at least for me, I'm gonna try to utilize it as best as I can. And if people don't like what I'm doing with it, then I can just not do it anymore, and then we just cleared the goal, and then like there you go, and that's all it is. But hopefully, at least for me, that I can actually utilize it as like an actual tool to like have to just do different things, like either make jokes or like maybe when I'm talking about a topic or things like that. I like using my hands when I talk to people, like doing that. Like that could be interesting. Yeah, because I've definitely had those same thoughts of just like, what if people judge me? What if people don't like me anymore? If that's they see how I look, what if people has this perception of me, and then they just don't want to watch anymore. Just like, wow, that's what he looks like, and I'm gonna pass now. But I've never thought about betraying their expectations. I guess.
It's just like because it's like it's happened to me before, and I've seen it happen to a lot of other people before. It's like when I talk to friends online, and then they're like, you reveal your face, and then all of a sudden they either get distant, or they either become distant, or they just stop talking to each other.
Really?
And I feel like it's partly because like when you're talking to them and you don't know how they look, like and say you've got like an anime character, they kind of associate that anime character PvP with you, and they've already
Mm,
they
maybe.
the imagery of you is this 2D image, like
2D character.
2D character, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then once you reveal your face, and then they can label a face to your name, it becomes in a way kind of weird. I think. So maybe it's just because like at the same time we're all kind of like in a weebs and stuff. We just want to idealize like 2D characters. But
Maybe.
I've seen many cases where like maybe they don't like how you look, and I've had friends where just like they've grown distant after they showed each other their faces.
Really?
And it's just like
interesting.
yeah, and I'm just like things like that. I'm like that's something I'm most worried about. Where it's just like
yeah, I mean, in terms of like the internet and things like that, I've only revealed my face to very few people, and those people I'm still friends with. Like that's never happened to me, but I haven't done it very often. And it was with people I definitely trusted a lot, and like we're really good friends, really good friends with.
Yeah. I heard this other thing where it was like streaming with a webcam, because you have to like be very careful about how you behave in front of the camera as well. So it can be another layer of like difficulty when it comes to your streams.
I've thought of that as well, definitely.
Yeah, and I was just like, I feel like it could get pretty tiring streaming with a webcam on. And I know Lily Peachy, like sometimes she streams without a webcam. I assume it's because like she just wants to like take it easy, take a chill stream, no webcam and stuff. Understandable. So I'm like, that's another thing I'm like worried, like scared of.
Definitely don't feel forced. I think that's a good thing too. Is like definitely don't feel forced like you have to do something. The main thing is that you have to make sure you're enjoying yourself, or making sure that this is a good thing, so you can use the advantage of. If you're not enjoying it, or you feel it's not helping you, don't do it.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Okay, yeah. Yeah, understandable. But I guess it's just like interesting how it's just like perspective between fans and their idol, the people that idol. It's just like there's just like a little bit of a barrier, and it's just like in a way.
Like, yeah, because like go ahead.
I think in a way voice does that to an extent.
Oh yeah, but yeah, voice reveal too, when people reveal their voices for the first time.
Yeah, like I probably destroyed all your expectations with mine.
I don't think you destroyed expectations. I think you. I definitely have a different, like, okay, before I heard your voice, and then compared to after, it was more like I didn't have anything on my mind of how I thought your voice was. Like I implied something, but now it's just like, okay, now I have your voice in my mind. Now I'm thinking about something.
But of course, like right now, you can tell that there is a lot of differences between the way that I talk on text and the way I talk by voice.
Yes,
yeah.
So then I guess is the way there's that kind of like revealing yourself. And even like sometimes, like when I talk on podcasts, and then there's a little voice in the back of my head that's like, "Why are you doing this? Like, why are you okay with talking on voice when you've worked so hard to like build a character?"
Actually, yeah, I actually worry about my cousin feeling that, because speaking of like because I was thinking next week's podcast I'm inviting my cousin who also plays Elsword. I was thinking if both of them can come, that'd be nice, but I feel like right now it's only going to be Seaweed Cat, and I was actually thinking like, would she be comfortable with revealing her voice on media streams? But I can ask her like today or something. It's fine. But it's definitely because like I definitely feel like in Sky's case is like very for sure I agree, because like when I first started talking to Sky, so you'd be like very monotonous person, like doesn't talk much, keeps to herself, very like talks in like your pitch and voice,
single tone,
yeah. And that's actually what I think of Kay right now as well. Like Kay, like I
no Kay's nothing, no Kay.
Oh really? Wait, you haven't heard Kay's voice?
We haven't heard Kay.
I haven't heard Kay's
voice. You can.
She's on a lot of people's other streams.
Also on the NA runs, like the NA 15.6 runs that she has recorded. Kay's on the shop with all those. You'll be able to hear Kay's voice.
Yeah, that's where I've heard Kay the most, is on streams.
I guess in their shot calling and not like regularly talking, but at least like since I've like been in numerous voice calls with her, she has this, how do I say it? She has this dead inside vibe. Like it's just the way. Like I think it's just the way that. I think it's just the way that she talks slowly, like pretty slowly. Like for example, I go at like hypersonic speeds, but she's very like she talks at a really nice slow pace. I guess it's also the way that I don't know she enters sentences, and I guess like the tone that she kind of uses throughout it. I don't know. It gives that exhausted vibe.
So Kay kind of like. So Kay's real voice kind of sounds the same as her in-game voice. Yeah, honestly, like I try to mimic my my actual voice in my in-game like through text messages and stuff because I caps lock a lot, and then I also like I use a lot of emojis and I use a lot of like ha 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 ha.
Oh, that's interesting because for me it's all the way around.
Yeah, you try to be more like composed in text.
Yeah. Yes. It's more like I use my basis for how I talk in text and try to mimic. Well, I wouldn't say mimic, but I want to try and I want to try and talk like that in real life, or at least like I want to be able to talk in a very like I guess a composed and calm way. Whereas I know in the past and before I matured, I was a very impulsive, hyperactive person.
Oh.
Yeah. Like literally something excites me, and I'll like knew like non-stop talking. Yeah, so I guess back then I was very passionate. I might have been a very passion-driven person, but I think now I've discovered through experience that doesn't necessarily create good outcomes. So I guess I've toned it down over the years, and now it's like a habit.
Yeah, for me, I actually try to be the same person in talking and texting. Whether I'm successful, but I try to be the same.
Well, I'm just trying to think of like the first time I talked to media in text.
Same.
I'm like, all I remember was just being very happy and excited. Because I was like, obviously before I got to know media, I was just media's fan, obviously. So
hold on, let me check.
That's it, Sky. The first thing we talked about is I needed your advice on something. I remember that.
For what? Oh, okay.
Wait, you mean for me or for Crow?
For you, Sky. I need advice with raid.
What? I'm actually curious.
Hold on, wait.
With raid, I didn't know how to raid very well.
Oh, all right, yeah. Okay, that's
no. Wait, no. It has to have been something else.
You think so?
No, in DMs. Media first talked to you in DMs. He said, like, he was asking about raid tips.
Yep.
When he first talked to you.
Really? No, my Discord says otherwise.
Oh, I remember one of my first impression of media was he's looter than I thought he'd be.
I mean, I make jokes. I just enjoy making jokes.
Cause I kind of just went in and I was already just popping off when I first met, and I was just making very little jokes.
Well, that too. I like to go at the pace of the person who I'm talking to.
Ah, okay.
Oh wait, no, Sky, you're right. Our first real interaction was you said it was either in the official Discord or the PvE Discord that you wanted to try streaming, and I wanted to help you out with that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
Wait, my first PM discussion was actually about some advice on streaming because I think I stuffed up something, and I was wondering whether I should like delete the VOD and then So this was back when I was streaming on the internet cafe actually. So how streaming on the internet cafe works is they'll have can't remember whether the OBS installed no, the computer like completely wipes itself. It completely like uninstalls OBS every single time you log on and off it. So then I get to protect people, I guess. So I guess it's kind of like how every single time you log off the computer in the internet cafe, like it wipes all your browser history and everything you did on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so every single time I logged in, I had to like reinstall OBS every single time. Like it's pretty fast because the internet is nice, the computers are nice. But anyway, so what happened this time was like I accidentally displayed something on stream, and then I was like, hey, let's try like delete the VOD because the VOD itself was like very lengthy. So it had a lot of things in it.
Oh, I think I remember that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was only like one little bit where I stuffed up, but I was wondering like, hey, maybe I should just delete it. And I ended up deleting it in the end. So
yeah, I mean, also just starting up. You were just wondering how to start up, and I remember giving you advice on that. Not in DMs though. I think it was in that public Discord where you just wanted help starting up too, and I just told you about that.
Actually, out of curiosity, what were you like? What were you guys' first impression of me in text compared to like meeting me in voice?
I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was
curious. I can't remember either. I'm sorry.
Like, what is it? That's the thing with me. I either have when I have a good impression of somebody, I don't think much of it. When I have a bad impression of somebody, then I pay attention to it, kind of thing. So the fact that I can't think of something right now is actually a good thing.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay, I guess. Cause
when did we first meet in person anyway?
Smash. It was SmashCon. I was with my 2 other friends. We were at Kiribani's booth in Smash, buying the Elsword. Wait,
Okay,
no, it's not.
it's not. Okay, I remember me. Actually, yeah, I remember meeting you in Smash, but I don't remember mentally noting, oh, so that's how you look like.
Yeah, same.
That might have been it.
Actually, my mental note was when I first met you in Smash was like, wow, she's a lot shorter than I thought she'd be.
Shorter.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, because I don't.
172?
I'm no 170, 172. Oh no, I'm not that tall.
Okay, so you 170 because with Carl's 170, I'm 164.
Yeah.
163.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I
yes,
just,
I'm a bit shorter.
yeah.
But did you expect me to be taller? Like taller than you?
Kinda, cause okay, I remember my friend making this comment. It's just like, cause at the time I was mainly the Blade Master, right? And I was Daddy Crow in game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were Viper Crow, and Viper Crow seems like a pretty masculine name, I'm just saying. So then, yeah, I did expect you to be a bit taller.
I'm sorry, I'm disappointed, guys.
No, it's okay. I don't mind. It's shorter is cuter anyway.
Bro,
But-
no.
I remember my friend saying just like it's so ironic how you guys have the most masculine names in games, but then you both end up being like these Fujoshi fangirls in real life.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. It's funny. It's okay. I'm exposing myself as well. But yeah, because it's like Daddy Crow and Viper Crow. You expect these 2 names to be like masculine, like freaking macho guys in real life, right? Turns out both girls, both girls.
Actually, that was the same with Melody, who lives in Australia. Anyway, so
Yeah.
this is part. So our characters got married in game before we had a voice, before we voice revealed, because we were married just with benefits initially, and get a voice call. Mia is like, "Oh wait, that's you, Scott." I'm like, "Yeah," and he's, "Oh, you were a guy."
That's fine.
True, the IGN Viper Crow does give some man
I mean,
vibes.
Definitely.
I mean, like it's happened a lot because I think a lot of people follow the rule on the internet. Like,
Assume guy until
or especially, actually, just mostly within gaming communities, we just assume guy unless proven otherwise. So like, I've been doing this.
Yeah.
So it's like the whole like you're a girl is not on you to be.
I feel like for me though, ever since I changed my name to Mummy Crow, a lot of people has like before I even started doing streams and stuff, a lot of people did automatically assume I was a girl, but then like every now and then it was just kind of like it was more 50-50. It wasn't more like everyone assumed I was a guy. It was more 50-50 where some people think I was a guy, some people other people think I was a girl right off the bat. So I feel like definitely like the IGN actually also plays a big part in
Zach.
Zach 660.
Yeah, Zach. Well, yeah. What I do is definitely when it comes to Elsword is if they play a girl, I just assume girl. If they play a guy, I assume guy until proven otherwise.
Yeah, I assume all guy until proven otherwise.
Yeah,
for me.
Melody plays a lessest, but
yeah, actually, Melody was the one case where no. I think I do what media does. If they play a guy, I assume guy. If they play a girl, I assume girl.
okay.
Because Melody, I know Mio. When I thought he was a girl.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, I thought he was a girl when I was like, and then we met, in person. I'm like, well, expectations have been subverted. It's a guy. Ah, shit. Oh wait, actually, yeah, I feel like I don't know. Because like, what happened was in the Aussie Guild after the meetup, people in the Aussie Guild were asking Keen, like, so Keen, is Mia a girl or a guy? And then Keen was like, oh, I shouldn't disclose it since it's like private information. But then we're out here already disclosing it. Mia, we're sorry. But actually, can I ask one last question before we end it?
Okay, yeah,
I was
Go
like,
ahead.
when you're getting to know someone, do you prefer knowing them through text or voice or like face to face, like etc.?
I'm fine with anything.
More context rather than simply voice or text.
Context,
Because for me, if I know someone only through text, it kind of implies that I've only known them online. Whereas if I meet someone with voice or like face to face, it implies that I met them through like real life circumstances. Like maybe I would have met them through uni, or I would have met them because my family friend knows them or something. Whereas like when I meet someone online, like maybe I met them via like the Elsword Discord, or I met them via like some other game that I play. And I think the most important part is that whenever I meet someone by text, they usually 99% of the time they will hold some interest that I also share. Because like say for example, like you're 2 people in an Elsword Discord, and then it's very like you can assume that both of you like Elsword, right?
Yeah.
So then that common interest is already established.
Yep.
Whereas like a big problem I have with making friends in real life is that there's so many people that it's very difficult for me to find people who don't share an interest. So, or at least because my interests are very specific, like you know, Elsword. So then, like, I guess, yeah.
I agree, because like I was thinking, because like pretty much like when you're face to face, it feels like there's a barrier. Like it feels like there's a line you can't cross, and just you can't get to know them properly. Like when there's a face, like when you're talking to them face to face or with voice. Whereas in text, I feel like it's so much easier to overcome this barrier where like, and you can just like talk to them normally. Like you can just talk about like a lot of things without worrying about like, you can talk about anything. Just like share similar interests. And I don't need to worry about like too much. Like I feel like when it comes to face to face, it feels like I'm worrying about too many things, and I feel like I'm trying to keep like I feel like I'm trying to keep an image like of myself. Like I'm trying to like maintain an imagery, and because of that, I withhold a lot of information. And I come off as a bit like distant, and I don't want to get to know people. Whereas in text, I feel like I'm much more carefree, and it's easier to get along with people when I'm in text. So I think like that.
Another thing that I thought of is, okay, this doesn't apply to everyone, but especially for people who are neurodivergent, you have to worry about non-verbal communication when you're talking to someone face to face. Like for example, like how do I say it? For example, for me, whenever I meet someone, I'm very conscious as to what I'm doing non-verbally. So I'm thinking like, am I smiling appropriately? Do I like let's say for example, like when you meet someone and they smile at you and you go hi, you shake hands, and you blah blah blah. So I'm thinking, like, my voice might sound like I'm smiling, but am I really smiling? Am I using enough hand gestures? Is my posture okay?
Yeah,
really?
exactly.
Like I worry about. Well, like for me, like, for me specifically, there's a lot. I guess like there's a lot of. I guess like for some people, like they don't. For some people, it's not a worry, but for others, I think it's. But other people like keep this in mind a lot. But at least for me, yeah, I pay attention a lot to my non-verbal communication. Like to the point where it's exhausting, and I have to, and like my social battery runs out, and I have to take a break. Whereas like online, like I don't have to worry about that. I just have to worry about exactly what I'm saying. And like only the verbal part is there, which for me is a huge help. I guess even on a voice call, like you don't see my face, you don't know what my hands are doing. I just have to worry about maybe the volume of my voice, the tone of my voice. Like, am I too monotone? Am I like talking too quickly?
That's interesting.
Am I pronouncing things properly? And then I only have to worry about those kinds of things. Where I feel like body language is just a whole different world of like stuff that. So I guess like in the sense like when you talk via text only, it just cuts down the amount of things I need to worry about, because in the end, at least for me, being misunderstood is a big fear, and I don't want. And I guess like if I cut down the amount of things that can cause misunderstandings, then I guess it's a bit better for me.
For me, like, you know, it's fine that you say all that, because like for me, I barely even think about that. Like I'll be talking to somebody, and like I'll just be doing like hand movements or like doing whatever, and I'm not even noticing what I'm doing. You know, they just kind of comes to me. Like for me, wait, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. For an ideal person, this comes to them subconsciously. Like you just do it naturally because you've absorbed all this information like from other people doing it. But for some people that doesn't come naturally to them, and like they have to be explicitly taught. Okay, in this situation, you need to do these hand movements. You need to make this kind of facial expression, because I guess for some people, like they just don't absorb it. So then what ends up happening is they have to be explicitly taught these things, and then when they execute it in a conversation, like they're doing it consciously because they just don't absorb it, so they can't do it unconsciously.
Because for me, the reason why I said that is because not that I don't care about that, but more so whether it's in real life or in text or in voice or what have you. When it comes to talking to new people or just talking to people, I'm more concerned, or like my main thing is just like, okay, what's a thing to talk about? Like, what's an interesting thing to talk about or bring up? So like, I'm more worried about / thinking about that than I am about like the other things, I guess, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like I guess maybe I guess thinking about it now, like I'm more concerned about that, and then it's just like, okay, the other things they'll just happen as they will. But the most important thing
Mm.
for me, at least, is just like, okay, what are we gonna talk about, or like,
Mm.
what topic should I bring up?
What about in the case of like getting to know someone? Would you prefer? Do you think getting to know someone through text is easier, or like voice or face to face chatting?
Ah, man. I mean, the thing with like, it's interesting to think about that because if you really think about it, right? Like
Mhm.
in messaging, it's almost like being in a room just with that person, and you just kind of talk to them when you just and so you get to decide when you want to talk to them. When it's like face to
Mhm.
face, there's almost like this, maybe even if it's just you guys or like maybe it's even in a group, um
Mhm.
there's like a double thing. It's like you can either very easily kind of ignore somebody, or it's just like you
Mm.
almost feel like maybe a pressure to interact almost.
Yeah.
When it's
Yeah.
like with
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I think message like the benefit of messaging is it's super on your terms in most in
Mhm.
most instances. Like you don't have to message,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's more on your own terms as opposed to like real life when like maybe there's a pressure to talk or like a pressure to not talk. um and it's also like it depends on the context too, like Sky was saying
Mm.
before, where it's like in an environment of Discord where everybody is essentially plays video games, like there's a million things you can talk about or bring up when it comes to
Mhm.
that things, when it comes to those things like that. So it's a lot easier for me, a person who's mostly worried about like, okay, what should we talk about, to talk about that versus in real life where you could meet in like university or whatever, and it's just like,
Yeah.
what the heck do we talk about, like, like you could try
Yeah.
shooting in the dark, being like video game movie, and it's just like, okay, that didn't work,
Yeah. 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 I definitely agree with everything you say. Actually. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I prefer. Yeah. Text is a lot easier to talk to people, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
What in terms of preference? I don't think I have a preference, but
Okay.
I definitely think messaging is easier.
Okay. Okay. Fair. Fair. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Messaging is easier, and I actually my preference is also messaging as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The social problem becomes more extreme because of quarantine. Mm.
That too. Quarantine's a thing where people literally couldn't interact with each other, for better or
Yeah.
I
for
mean,
worse.
for me, I love it. Like I don't like meeting people face to face is like it's a at least for me meeting people face to face and having to interact in that way is a significantly more draining, especially with
Okay.
people I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I hate it. I hate it. I hate studying online. I hate not being able to go to class and just like meet people and talk to people there, because it's like, because I need people to motivate me to do things, right? So when it's just like everything online, everything's like individual. Everything's just become individual work since quarantine, and then it's just like I don't have the motivation anymore. I need to be at uni interacting with people to be motivated to study.
Mm-hmm.
So then, and because of that, I just really hated it. I hate this quarantine lifestyle. I'm not gonna lie.
I think I can understand why it's such a. I guess in some I guess like yeah, I guess coping is a good point. Like it's
Mm.
like on like I guess for some like specific people like I guess how do I say it extreme introverts like people who
Mm-hmm.
like people who really don't need other people. Like as in, like you could isolate me from the world and only have me on the internet, and I'll be like completely fine.
Mm.
I guess, like, but I guess like on the flip side, there's also that whole motivation thing, and it's also that some people just need people to talk to in face to face to like be able to like like have a healthy mind, I guess, because I guess humans are social creatures, and
Yeah.
some people just need that face to face interaction. Like otherwise, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Life doesn't work for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess like whether people are ultimately benefiting off this mentally or not is a very like individualized thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because like, what is it? At least for me, like I didn't particularly like love it. I don't particularly hate it. It's more like while this quarantine was going on, it's just like alright, everybody has to stay on this. Like, yeah, that's fine with me. I don't have to really worry about like traveling and for whatever reason, things like that. So like, but I didn't like distinctly like love it or hate it or anything. It was more just like cool. I don't mind.
Yeah. I guess everyone's different in this. Like everyone
Yeah.
has different perspectives and opinions on this. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I guess we'll just like probably close the podcast there because like we went over time again as
Well,
always.
we started late too, and like we started later
Yeah, but
definitely
you-
this time because you guys
yeah.
were just waking up.
No, we still went 16 minutes over time. But it's okay. I don't mind too much.
Yeah.
But I
As
say
long
it's
as we
not
don't
it's
go
not
one
it's not a
hour.
strict 2 hours.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah.
I've
As long
never
as we
said
don't,
that.
yeah, as long as we don't go 1 hour over time, in my opinion, it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh wait, I'm hosting. Oops.
Yeah.
This is my job. Okay. I guess since our time is up, thank you to everyone who stuck by the whole time, and to I guess everyone who joined halfway.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. Please continue to support us. We're live at 9 p.m.
Yeah. Every Sunday 9 p.m. EST.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, we will be live there. We'll be live then every time. So yes, again, thank you for coming, and I guess it's a wrap for this episode,
Yeah.
and we will see you. Hopefully, see you again next week.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, I think we're like for Australians out there, the stream starts at 1 p.m. Monday.
Yes.
So there you go. It's
Sure.
not back for
Might as well
Australia.
mention that. Yeah.
So yeah, and I guess for people who are watching this via YouTube, thanks for watching, and
See you guys next week.
see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
That's it, right?
Yeah. That's fine.
Bye.
Good job.